today. All you have to do is send us a dispatch at thenewsjunkie.com. It's easy to do, and let today be your first day sending a dispatch to the show. You can also watch us Facebook, YouTube, and twitch.tv/thenewsjunkie. Your messages rolling right into the studio in real time, and this never, ever, ever happens.
What was it?
We got a last-minute message, guys. I can't believe it.
I have a guess on who it is.
Who do you think it was?
Murdoch.
Ooh, close.
The dead wife.
Ooh, darn.
Who was it from, Sean?
We got a last-minute message from the juror who left behind a dozen eggs. Let's see what they said.
Have a great Friday, mother.
We did it, everybody. We made our way through a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday has arrived. Pat yourself on the back. You've done it again, friend. We got a lot to get to today. We got some announcements coming up about the Ultimate Pinewood Derby stuff and many other things to get to. But how's everybody doing on a Friday?
Good. Living it up. How are you?
I have a suggested challenge for us today.
Oh.
I have a suggested challenge. Now you
Like you did, per our morgue and slapping the bag?
Well, kind of like that. Yeah. But you guys can both veto this if you want, because I don't know how you're feeling right now. You feeling okay? I'm in. I don't want to be in, but I thought about it last night, and I was like, ooh, that's such a bad idea that we should probably try it.
All right. Well, I'm ready to hear the pitch.
Now it's Friday, so everybody has segments. Sealand has This Week in Florida. Sabrina, of course, has the next episode.
Sure.
My suggestion for a challenge is if any of us mispronounce a word at any point in time today during the show, we have to take a shot.
Okay.
That's not fair.
If any of us, I'm
I
talking
always
about,
mispronounce words.
if any of us mispronounces a word during the show today, we have to take a shot.
Here's the thing. That
He's
is
backing
in.
out.
I'm in.
All right, so
Oh,
who's in?
I'm definitely out. I got way too much to do today.
He has sneakers on. What are you doing?
Yeah,
He's
and
got a busy day.
I have a busy day, and this is something that requires planning. You want to do a mispronounce a word, take a shot kind of deal? Want to push it to next Friday? I might be on board.
He needs more space. He needs more time.
What? I mean,
I would have
still do
Ubered here.
well, then leave your car for the day.
Yeah,
I have things to do today.
All right, well, then you're in charge, and me and Sean are getting hammered.
I'm down for it. We'll do it. You have to.
done for it?
You know what you have to do then? You have to put yours on the list that you have to then do at some point
Oh,
in time. All right?
great idea,
Like
Sean.
Monday morning, you got to do as many as you rack up over the. I'm really trying on my words right now, actually.
I'm
I have
scared.
never spoken better.
All right, let's put our ears to the ground, our fingers on the pulse. Let's see what's happening in this great big wide world of ours. And we go to the moment, and I was so disappointed in this. And I think Sealand was too, for the same reason.
The guilty verdict.
Not the fact that he was found guilty. He's a murderer. He's a terrible person. Screw the whole family, right? But
What?
I'm used to a certain delivery of a verdict in a courtroom. I want, the people of the state of South Carolina find the defendant.
We the jury.
Yeah, we the jury find the defendant, Alex Murdaugh. Boom! And then they hit you with the verdict.
Guilty AF.
The way the lady read the verdict was it was like, wah, wah.
At one point, she stopped in her tracks, and I think she was looking for confirmation from the judge, should I do it? Do I say it?
Yeah.
And then she turned around and she goes, guilty verdict, and you're like, whoa!
I was so
What happened
unexpected.
to buying me a drink first?
Yeah, I want to be led right up to that moment and then drop the bomb on me. That's what I'm looking for. Here was the moment where they read the guilty verdict for Alex Murdaugh in the double murder trial.
In the Court of General Sessions, in the term of 2022, July,
All right.
the state versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh, defendant, indictment for murder, SC Code 16-3-0010.
Okay.
CDR.
I love the scrap paper
Stay left.
in the back.
26.
And then she looks at the judge like, can I do it?
This is part of the directions, my girl.
Should I read it?
Guilty verdict. Signed by the forelady, 3/2/23.
It was so uneventful. I wanted that big pulse-pounding moment.
And so was Alex's face.
Yeah, he just kind of sat there like a muppet watching the things happen around him there in the courtroom.
I heard Angel this morning, and he's like, as soon as he heard that, he is thinking of his appeal.
Yeah. Well, what can I do?
Immediately.
And because he's always trying to scheme and get out of things because he's used to winning this stuff.
And I always love pointing out these Hail Marys that the defense does. Like at the beginning of the trial, they're like, motion to dismiss? Come on.
Any chance?
And so...
On what grounds? The grounds we don't want to do this?
Yeah. And then, so they did the thing where they polled the jury, which we were, they one by one. Was this your verdict? Is it still your verdict? And we were really rooting for somebody to be like, no.
Yeah, just a curveball would have been that.
And then after that, the defense attorney put up a motion to dismiss the verdict. Like, can we do a motion for, was it mistrial?
One shot.
Or
Yeah,
just
motion for a
verdict?
mistrial, yeah. And then obviously that didn't work either. But found guilty, I think they're doing the sentencing now, and he's going away for quite some time. The jury, think about this for a second. They sat there for weeks hearing all of this testimony. There were all of these charges to consider.
For $11 a day.
Well, you both, we've talked about this before, you both have been jury forepersons.
Correct.
And have been on a jury, right? And you both know, even in a small trial, that it takes time just to get seated and arranged and start figuring out what's going on. And, hey,
Oh my gosh.
what do we think?
I'll never forget when it comes to right before you go into deliberation, that the judge has to read like this 14-page document of the rules and how to
Right.
verbatim, and we're just you can tell the judge is annoyed.
Yeah.
And we just have to hear everything else, despite us having that piece of paper in front of us, and then we could all read faster than how he's speaking.
Yeah.
But here we go.
And the jury found him guilty on all counts in 45 minutes. With all of that stuff in consideration, it took them 45 minutes to find out that they were all in agreement that Alex Murdaugh was guilty of murder. And then there was a big mistake for a couple of networks, I guess Court TV among them. They were showing some shots in the courtroom. I don't know how this even happened, but they accidentally showed the jurors on the video feed, which is like the
They can get sued for
biggest
that.
no-no. Yeah, the jurors are supposed to be able to have anonymity if they choose so. And I don't even know why there would have been a camera pointed in that direction. But they were trying to get a reaction from Alex Murdaugh. They pan over and then boom, you see the entire jury just sitting there and you go, Jesus, guys, this is rule number one here. We've got some post-verdict analysis from the man who knows how to do this better than anybody else, Mr. O.J. Simpson.
Stay right.
Chimed in on it.
Right.
Didn't he chime in beforehand?
Yeah, he chimed in beforehand and he goes, I think Alex Murdaugh is guilty, but he's going to get a not guilty verdict.
Exit
And
right.
sounds a little familiar, but let's see what OJ says to old Twitter world.
Well, I just told a buddy of mine, we were on the phone, and we were talking about this murder case. And I said, well, I don't know. I think the guy might be able to get some reasonable doubt there. But I said, if the verdict comes back tomorrow, he's going to be guilty. If the verdict comes back next week sometime, that means they're probably fighting, and there's probably some disagreement in it. One thing that I was told by the lieutenant.
You know what's weird? He actually is a good expert on this.
Yeah.
He literally
He's
is.
been through it.
He literally is a good expert on this topic.
He has been through multiple court cases.
He knows what he's talking about, but normally he's talking about all kinds of other stuff. This he knows.
Of the sheriff's department when I was incarcerated in one of my cases. And
One of them.
After the police officers had testified in my case,
Ready
all
to
of the
roll.
sheriff's department, they ran the jail, not the prison, but they ran the jail, and that's where I was in.
Oh, God.
They said, you're going home. And
He
I
goes
said,
on and on and on. Twitter
At
world
the same time.
just sits there and listens.
Actually, that was kind of fascinating. So OJ's basically saying that while he was in jail, after certain testimony, all of the sheriffs went, yeah, dude, I think you're getting away
Yeah,
with this.
let's pack up your stuff. We can read the tea leaves here. All right, a couple of emails real quick. tips@thenewsjunkie.com, and Adam emails. He says, hey guys, does each entry to the Ultimate Pinewood Derby 4 include one race car? It says the team is for up to 4 people. Does that mean it's up to 4 cars per team or a team of 4? Submit tips@thenewsjunkie.com, and Adam emails. He says, hey guys, does each entry to the Ultimate Pinewood Derby 4 include one race car? It says the team is for up to 4 people. Does that mean it's up to 4 cars per team or a team of 4 submits 1 car to the race? I appreciate the help. Thank you, Adam. Yeah, your team pass gets you the car for your team. 1 car for your whole team.
So then you like a team captain.
Right.
And then the rest of your people are pit crew.
Right.
And you can have just 2 people. You can have 1 person.
You make it a fun thing together with everybody that you're with, or by yourself. It's up to you.
And if there's 4 of you, you can fight over whether or not to use the belt sander or the saw.
Right.
You
Oh,
know.
you got to get somebody who's an expert in something that's going to help you out on your team. That for sure is a good thing. We got some more information coming up about the Ultimate Pinewood Derby for very, very soon. At some point today, we'll let you know what's going on with the venue, etc., etc. In the meantime, you can still get your team passes while they last. I think we're about 50% sold out over there, but you can pick up the remaining cars at realradio.fm/derby. That's realradio.fm/derby.
Aria Shadowblade on Twitch says, F that. Does each member get a magnet? That's the real question.
Yes, everybody
Yes.
everybody on the team gets a magnet where you get some other swag and goodies for you guys, so people will be taken care of. And we're going to try to put together as much as we can for the folks who are on the teams to make it worth your while out there for the Ultimate Pinewood Derby 4. But this is a fun event, a family event. You should be there, and you should get your team pass now at realradio.fm/derby. And Dan emails to tips@thenewsjunkie.com. He says, I was wondering what it would take to be able to sponsor a car for the Pinewood Derby. I think it would be fun to have a Dandy's Candies car in the race, but let it be done by people with a clue instead of me. Thank you, Dan. Yeah, we can arrange that if you want
Dandy's
to.
Candies?
If you're
It's a fun name.
if you're interested in getting a Dandy's Candies car out there, all you have to do is buy the team pass. Let me know, and I'll get somebody to connect with it. Somebody I'm sure would love to have a free team pass to get out to the Ultimate Pinewood Derby 4. So just make sure you let me know what's going on after you purchase that, and it's appreciated. Okay,
Coming up with the
come
Dandy's
back.
Candies car.
It's a good name for a car. I like it. We're going to get into more on the Alex Murdaugh verdict because one of the jurors is already out doing interviews and stuff. Plus, a huge new problem for people visiting McDonald's. What is happening? That's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Need to hear someone else's opinions before reconciling your own internal focus.
Stay right, and then
I got
exit
you,
right.
fam. Hey, Alexa, play Real Radio 104.1 on iHeartRadio.
Exit right.
Reed and Reed Attorneys at Law want you to know that they are here for you. They treat their clients like they treat their family and friends. Probably better if you
Get
ask their
ready to turn
relatives.
right.
Whatever you need, you can count on Reed and Reed to be there every step of the way. When you call them, you speak to your attorney. Visit needreed.com. Remember,
Turn
with
right.
Reed and Reed, it's like having a lawyer in the family. Office is Tampa, not attorney spokesperson.
They're best friends. Unless they're fighting. Are they fighting? It's the News Junkie.
Get ready to turn right.
What is everybody so scared of?
Turn
I always
right.
find that people are afraid of the dumbest things. You know, be afraid of the things that make sense to be afraid of. Be afraid of flying. It makes sense to be afraid of flying.
Aren't you afraid of floating off in space?
Yes, and that makes sense.
Why?
I'm not going to have to face it necessarily, but it would be super scary if I floated off in space. Do you deny that, Sealand?
But you're never going to go to space.
You don't know that. Things are advancing quickly in the world of space travel, and if somehow I'm forced to do that and I float off in space, I will be cursing your name on my way out into nothingness, into the blackness and deepness of space. That sounds terrible to me. Flying, why wouldn't you be scared of it? You're in a tube, you're flying at 30-something thousand feet in the air. You're not supposed to do this. We've defied God and all the laws of the land, and we're flying through the air for 500 miles an hour or something. Be afraid of this. The things that people are actually scared of, when you ask people, when you ask them, what are the things that you're frightened of, are always dumb. It's always something stupid that people are afraid of. For instance, there's multiple stories out there today about people who are afraid of self-driving vehicles. I don't understand this fear. I think this is a little bit much. But it's true. It's like actually a thing. And AAA, which is the place to go to for information like this, I guess, says that 68% of people are afraid of self-driving cars, which is probably because most of them haven't, like me, been in a self-driving car ever, and eventually if you get used to it, you'll think it's normal and you wouldn't be afraid of that anymore.
but I'm not afraid of self-driving cars.
Now, afraid in what sense, though? Because I watched this adorable clip of two elderly men getting in an Uber. I don't think it was an Uber official car, but one that was completely driving on its own.
Right.
No driver in there.
There's a couple of those in the country, yeah.
And they were freaking out.
Like, what's happening?
Amanda, there's nobody
Because
here.
imagine for them, that's so far from where they were when they were young, and like
Yeah.
the technology's gone so far.
I've had nightmares of being in a car that's driving on a highway and there's no driver.
Really? Would you say that you're then in the camp that would say you have some sort of fear of self-driving cars?
No, if I'm in the driver's seat, I'm so the opposite of afraid. Like that is my heaven. If I am able to drive to Miami to visit my parents and not touch the wheel and just sit back and relax, count me in.
Oh,
yeah.
Look,
I'm really like looking forward to the idea. And also, I was wrong the other day when we were talking about this.
Really? Shocker.
What is that?
That
supposed
was
to mean?
mean.
No, my friend.
Don't say that, Elaine.
My friend texted
He
me.
took it personal for a second.
My friend texted me and said that he just got a Tesla, and he said yes, the self-driving function is expensive.
Is it?
It's either like $15,000 extra for the life of the car, or $200 a month or something.
That's
But-
a
so much.
lot.
Can you do just like 1 month and then skip a couple
But
and go
he-
back?
Yeah, what if you could just activate it for short periods of time?
I mean-
for a vacation or something.
That would actually be kind of cool. I mean, if they had like a premium price where you just wanted to do it for a week, I would almost be down with that.
$200 a month is way too much to have a feature that your car can already
Like
do.
if I was driving between my house and here every day, which I do, not that big a deal. Doesn't bother me that I have to do it. But if I was driving, like Sabrina said, down to Miami or down to West Palm or to Charleston, my gosh, that gets annoying
game
after a
changer.
while.
Of course, you could just sit in the passenger seat, watch some TV or something. The car does everything.
He said absolutely self-drives the car, not on highways. I mean, on roads that aren't highways, that are highways, like wherever, he can go from his driveway to a parking spot without having to do a single
So he
thing.
just puts in the destination, and,
Yes.
and the Tesla just goes.
Yeah.
It gets to that place. Yeah, you were telling me one time that I think it was the same person. You said, this is such a cool move, man. I know you might think this is cringe, but I think this is such a cool move. If you were to go into Publix or something and get your groceries, you could summon your car to get out of the parking space and pick you up in front of the Publix.
That's what's up.
That would be such a cool move.
My God.
You just walk out and you're like, oh, here's my car. It's Knight Rider, man.
Okay, so now I do wonder, though, for the price of paying for something like that, a car that'll drive itself with the monthlies, come pick you up when you have your groceries,
Yeah.
versus hiring a chauffeur.
Oh, chauffeur's got to be way more than $200 a month. But yeah, you got to factor in the cost of the car.
But like in a year, I imagine chauffeurs are salaried.
I would still dig a chauffeur, but
All day.
the automatic driving cars, I'm not afraid of them. Chat, everybody who's watching live right now in chat, yes, if you're afraid of self-driving cars, if you have a fear, yes. No, if you're not afraid, if you're stoked on this and you would love to have one of these, yes and no in chat. Staley on YouTube says, so if there's no driver and another car comes at you out of nowhere, does this no driver car know it's coming and take action to get out of the way? Yeah. It's got cameras everywhere. So it senses that there's some sort of problem and can stop or what. I don't know what they do.
You do. It's not like there can be a situation where nobody's sitting in the driver's seat. Like you have to be there. You have to touch the wheel every so often, apparently. But that's it.
Yeah. What does it do in the trolley car example? What does it do? Like if you have a Tesla going down the road and the only two options are for it to go left and it would hit 3 people or go right and it would hit 1 person, does it make that decision or what happens there?
Sean, that would be more of an Elon question, I think.
Tweet him.
I'll hit him up. We'll see if I hear back. Yeah, but AAA said 68%.
Tell him vaccines are fake, and then say, also,
Not for
answer
nothing.
this question about Teslas.
A lot of folks on chat are saying, yes, they are actually afraid of this. Hella yes. A bunch of people saying they're not excited about this. There are some no's as well. I think it needs more work and corrections to their tech. And then she's a yes, says Christina over on Twitch.
Sun State John says self-driving car is okay if not on the road. What? Where the hell do you want it, John? So you want to self-drive the car around your farm?
Yeah, if it's in the garage, it's perfectly okay. No problem with that whatsoever. But if it's moving around like it's intended to, nah, we don't want to deal with that.
Summon the car in the parking lot.
That's so cool.
That is bomb.
I love that. Or like imagine you go to a big mall or something where the parking sucks and you have to park way out. And then when you come out with your stuff that you purchased, you summon the car, it drives up to you.
Light bulb. How about the car drops me off and finds its own parking
Can
spot?
it do that?
Badass.
Can it do that?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay,
I'm
if it could
driving
do
a car
that,
that barely works.
Turn left.
Yeah, because I might be in right now if it could do that. Because that is annoying so often. There's a couple of really, really popular restaurants in town, and they share a parking lot. And the parking lot, it's one of those annoying things where like half of it's roped off as
Get ready to
valet,
turn right.
and then all the other spots are taken. If you could just pull up to the restaurant, get out of your own car,
Turn
and that son of a
right.
bitch valets itself, that is a cool move right there. That puts me firmly in the yes column. So let me know what he says. I don't know, are we that far? I mean, maybe that's why people are getting worried about this, because we are making huge progress in the world of self-driving cars. Meanwhile, over at McDonald's, and a question for the both of you. When is the last time McDonald's is a sport? Just for the record, it's a sport of eating.
For Donald Trump it is.
Yeah, he's a high.
I made the menu.
I know the menu better than you do, he said to the employees at that one McDonald's. But when is the last time you had McDonald's? And I don't just mean on some delivery app. I mean sat inside a McDonald's and sat down and ate your meal inside the McDonald's. I haven't done that.
My head
in
is hurting right now.
ages. Yeah.
I honestly can't either.
I
I would say
I'd
I've
have
been
to kid
to
me.
like a Wendy's and sat down,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like the one place to go to in this small town of
Right.
Anaheim.
Yeah, and I think in smaller towns it might be more common because you go.
Now, as
let's
a kid,
burn
growing
some
up,
time.
we used to, family dinners on particular damn it, particular
That's
nights.
a shot.
Did you mean when we're reading or just talking?
Oh, in general. Trust me, I'm going to scribble a whole bunch here.
So we would go and sit down. Like Wendy's was a big one for us. My grandmother who passed away last year, loved Burger King.
Yeah.
So that was like her treat, Nana's treat. We would go get a hamburger.
Is it like a family thing and a younger person thing mostly? Because I
Like you
just
think the teens are sitting in there?
I guess we used to do that. I don't know if that's still a thing. We'd go in and be like, let's burn some time and go to McDonald's.
That was us at the mall.
Well, there's a new thing at McDonald's that doesn't seem
And
very
Sealand had the theme parks.
This is happening in the UK at the McDonald's locations, but they're going to start doing this in the US as well.
There's supposed to be a future update to the Tesla software where it drops you off and finds its own parking
I'm
spot.
in. That's
Take
fantastic.
my money.
How much are they again?
A lot of
So the three of us are getting tested.
Yeah, well, we might have to split. Just
I'll
go
share.
We'll go in on one. So at this McDonald's chain in UK, in the United Kingdom, and they're going to start doing this in the US, they are worried about people who take up their parking spaces, right? And they want to find a way to police this. And here, traditionally in the US, you put up a stupid sign that says you can park for this long, and violators will be towed, and then you try to enforce that until people get scared of it. And that sort of fixes the issue. But what they're doing in the UK is they have cameras everywhere at the McDonald's, and if your car is parked in the parking space for too long, they fine you. So you only get a certain amount of time in that parking spot at the McDonald's, and then they'll...
That's right. Finish up your nuggies, fatty.
Fine you? How are they going to go through with that?
Well,
they're working with the city.
It's a 90-minute limit that you have in the parking space, and if you go over, you're fined $60 from the McDonald's.
Man.
And they said,
Don't the employees park there?
well, the employees must park there, right? But I guess they don't have the cameras like locked in on those ones or something. Well, yeah, they want to fine you if your car is there for too long. Some of people have been fined as much as $120.
Who's spending more than 90 minutes at McDonald's?
Maybe there's a birthday party?
Yeah,
How about
there
that?
could be
Remember that?
You know the little playland thing that they have? Some parents will go in there and the kids will play in
I thought
there.
they got rid of all those.
Did they? Oh,
No. They still have like the world's largest McDonald's, and that has
That
the
one
world's
has-
largest playground.
Yeah, that one's got a huge ass thing for people to hang out at.
Yeah, have they made an
I don't know what they should. Was it? Maybe that's like a Hooters or something, you know, or a
That one, like
Dave and Buster's.
bouncing around in the slides.
Yeah, and I'll tell you now though, as an adult, you'll be hurt afterwards.
And someone will poop on it.
Yeah, somebody's definitely pooping. It's like the Sealing went to the trampoline place that one time. The story wasn't that you? Is that you?
It was me.
Oh,
and it was.
Sabrina went to the trampoline place and what'd you last like? 10
I got a
minutes?
Groupon for 4 classes. I barely made through 75%.
I got a
of the first
Groupon
class.
for 4 hours, and I lasted all of 30 minutes.
You bounce around a couple times, you're like, this is so cool. And then you're like, oh my God, I am in dire pain right now. This is hurting. Okay, let's go over to you. Your dispatches from the News Junkie app and on the website, thenewsjunkie.com, where you can record them. Here is Guitar Slinger chiming in.
Happy Friday, Saturday,
Sunday.
Sunday. Sean, I cannot believe that you would endorse a self-driving car. This is a car with a robot brain. It's like having a robot that can go 150 miles an hour.
I know, but it's cool.
In a 4-ton car, and you're not afraid of that? Man, I don't know, dude. That's a robot car, man. Death to robots. As I wear my Death to Robot shirt.
Nice, good for you. I like that. Here's the thing I think about when
Okay,
it comes to
let's find a
the
new
cars,
route.
people to park themselves and like pick you up at the Publix after you shop. That gets out of the parking spot, comes and gets you all by itself. We as just human beings, Americans probably in particular, we have a way of when we get some awesome new thing that makes our life better, it takes us all of 30 minutes to be like, this is just what I expect now. And I'm no longer impressed. But
sure.
you get your Tesla, it picks you up, it drops you off, it does all that stuff. And then you have to ride with a friend, you're like, oh, you have to park the car.
Maybe
Drop me off.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Maybe that's why, like, maybe Tesla has all the ideas in place, and they're just staggering the updates so that you constantly get new things and feel, upgraded.
Yeah, but I'm going to end up being the person who gets the iPhone right before the update, and then I just spend the next 10 years being way behind just by like a couple months.
We do that so fast. Something cool comes out. It's like Wi-Fi on planes is one of the famous examples of this. We're able to go on the internet, very high speeds, and watch movies and Netflix and stuff. And then if it's not working, we're like, are you kidding me? This is cruel and inhumane. It's against the Geneva Conventions.
I would totally be that guy.
Right, I know
If
you
I'm on a plane that doesn't have Wi-Fi, I'm like, what is the deal?
This is a 2-hour
Get
flight.
ready
What
to
am I
turn
supposed to do?
And I mean, if you told me ahead of time that the plane didn't have Wi-Fi,
right.
I would prepare. Like I've done this where I've sat in the terminal and used the airport Wi-Fi and just download a bunch of episodes of something on Netflix so that I have something to pass the time. That's fine if you let me prepare for it. But if the little icon on my trip says Wi-Fi and then I get on the plane and it's not working, I'm like, what the F, guys?
Where's the manager?
I'm going to tweet as soon as I land.
I'd like to talk to your pilot.
So we get real spoiled real quick. What do you think? Does that scare you, all this idea and technology that is associated with self-driving cars, or is it something you think is going to be awesome in the future? Let us know. Record your first dispatch now at thenewsjunkie.com.
Get ready to turn
We
right.
got a bunch more to get into. I want to hear from
right.
this juror in the Alex Murdaugh case. He was, of course, found guilty and looked real guilty, and it only took him 45 minutes to determine he was guilty.
Wouldn't it be a real son of a bitch if they interviewed the egg lady that they dismissed and she was like, I thought he was not guilty?
Well, when they
Why did she get dismissed again?
because she told some friends about the case.
She was discussing it.
Yeah, she wasn't allowed to do that.
And her friends tattled.
And then they said, do you need anything from the jury room? And she said, give me my dozen eggs, my purse, and
bottle of water.
And my bottle of water. And I was thinking when they were going around and they're doing the thing that Sealand was explaining, where they go, juror number 1, is this your verdict? You know, was this your verdict? Is this your verdict? And they polled the jury, as they say. When I was watching that, then after everybody said yes, they said, bailiff, we bring in the alternate juror. And the alternate juror comes in and I go, ooh, are they going to ask the alternate juror if they also would have voted guilty? Which they don't do that.
No.
They just escorted the alternate juror into like the gallery section of the courtroom. And I was just waiting for anything that could make a little drama flare up there in the courtroom, since the verdict was so uneventful. We just didn't have that dun
Guilty.
dun dun.
Guilty.
Just kind of throw out the word guilty and people, wait, well, hold on, what just happened there? All right, we are going to hear from you. We got these dispatches stacked up, and we'll hear from that juror that is speaking out. What do they have to say? And what was the piece of evidence that they said did Alex Murdaugh in? That is coming up next on the News Junkie.
Reed and Reed Attorneys at Law want you to know that they are here for you. They treat their clients like they treat their family and friends. Probably better if you ask their relatives. Whatever you need, you can count on Reed and Reed to be there every step of the way. When you call them, you speak to your attorney. Visit needreed.com. Remember, with Reed and Reed, it's like having a lawyer in the family. Office is Tampa, not attorney spokesperson.
Join in on the chaos. We eagerly await your dispatch. This is the News Junkie.
Big question for everybody. I want you to put yourself in this position and honestly ask yourself this question. All right, and Sabrina and C-Lane, I want to know what you think because you do have experience doing this stuff before, working on a jury, being a jury foreman. Now, let's imagine that you were, when you were on the jury, you were on the jury for the Alex Murdaugh case, right? Big, high-profile case, cameras everywhere.
I have dozens of facts.
Yeah, you got dozens of facts in the jury room, and you're telling all your friends what you should be doing. But you get through the trial, you're the juror, it's home at the end, you say, yep, that's my verdict. I thought he was guilty. And then things start to wind down. You want to get out of there. You want to get home probably. You're done with it. You've been doing it for weeks, for God's sake. And then they go, would anybody like to talk to the media? Does anybody want to do interviews like Good Morning America, or the Today Show, or any of the evening news broadcasts? If it was a high-profile case that you were on, would you afterwards be interested in like doing interviews about it, or would you say no?
It really depends on the case.
Let's just say it was this case, the Alex Murdaugh case.
I would.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like I'd be so tired, just done with the case.
yeah, but
It's
our job.
tempting. Yeah, I mean, for us it's different because this is what we do. But I'm always
You get a
interested.
second to plug in my Instagram? Sure.
Right, I'm always
That's Sabrina
interested.
Ambra.
And how many of these people are willing to talk to the news outlets? Would you do that, Selena, or would you just kind of fade away?
I would definitely talk to the news.
Yeah. Get out there and just anybody with a microphone, I will tell you my story. They do this every time. The jurors, we need somebody to go on the news and tell us what was going on behind the scenes. And some guy,
I'm like nearby the news outlets going, just backing up my juror notebook here.
Don't mind me.
Don't mind me. Oh, what a grueling deliberation I just had.
I see so many of these people that finish these trials and then they're like, yep, I want to talk to the media. They had a juror on the very next morning. This verdict for Alex Murdaugh came out late Thursday. And by the next morning, they got a dude on Good Morning America. And they're talking to him about his experience on the jury. Like, what was it that swayed you? What happened with this? What happened with this? And for me, I don't know. I mean, I think now that I would just be so tired that I wouldn't want to, but I bet I'd be a little bit like fueled up in the moment, exhilarated.
Adrenaline.
Yeah, and you're
I want to go fight more crime, kind of.
and you're like, let me just share this with some people to do some interviews about this. And that's what happened with this guy. They talked to him, and they found an agreement in 45 minutes on this jury that Alex Murdaugh was guilty in their estimation. Didn't take them long. And here's one of the jurors that was on Good Morning America. Here he's talking about it.
Now, an ABC News exclusive juror Craig Boyer breaking his
Right.
silence, revealing how the jury came to their decision.
How do you call it breaking his silence?
It wasn't silence.
When this happened last night, you know?
Finally, he's telling his story. And he's like,
The guy's barely had breakfast.
yeah, this turnaround was really quick for him to break the silence for old Craig here.
Anything about it? There was 2 not guilty,
Oh, really?
1 not sure, and 9 guilty.
Wow, so right away, it was 2 not guilty, 1 not sure, and everybody else was dead.
some testimony. Go into the room where you're going to deliberate the verdict and say not guilty. And then within 45 minutes, you have completely changed your mind.
45 minutes. I mean, back in the height of the Murdaugh rule over the Low Country, in 45 minutes, Alex himself would have walked into that deliberation room and handed all keys to new cars.
Right.
You know, and then this is not guilty.
That's how you sway them.
That's, you know, right off the bat.
How did they change minds so quickly?
What was your vote?
Guilty.
From the start.
Guilty.
Yes.
Moyer says it didn't take long to get everyone on the same page.
Yeah.
Started deliberating, going through the evidence. Everybody was pretty much talking. And
Great interview.
about 45 minutes later,
Mama gets so late from it.
after all our deliberating, we figured it out.
So it took basically 45
This
minutes.
is so frustrating. When you're a news anchor and you go, we got the exclusive, we got the juror, and then you go, was it hard to come to this verdict? No. What was going on?
Reminds me of like one of Jerry Lee Lewis's final interviews.
Yeah,
Do you
it was
remember that
great.
one?
That's-
No. Yes. No.
Everything was one word.
Shut up.
That's why don't they tell you in journalism school not to ask yes or no questions?
Generally, yeah. You ask him a question that requires some sort of effort to give an answer to. They don't give like two possibilities and you don't give a yes or a no, but he's giving yeses and no's.
You guys didn't have to do a decision.
Probably about 45, maybe an hour.
That's really fast.
But the evidence was clear.
He says it was this piece of video
This is it.
featuring Alex's voice in the crime scene moments before the murders that convinced him.
So it was that Snapchat video that did him in. That was the one that put him on the scene, and that was the one that convinced the jurors that, yeah, he was in fact guilty of this. Let's see him talk about that.
It was clear. Everybody else went through.
Alec finally admitting it was him for the first time a year and a half after the murders.
When he said it was him, were you surprised?
I'm very surprised.
Why?
That was his own savior right there.
Man, so there they go. A guilty verdict down the line for Alex Murdaugh, and now you'll see probably half a dozen or so of these jurors pop up and give an interview. But I only care about one. Give me the lady with the dozen eggs. It's all
Not the one with the tissues in her ears?
Ooh,
Is that the
too.
same lady?
I like the tissue ear person too. I would listen to either one of those.
That and the grand jury girl from a couple weeks ago for Trump.
Oh yeah, that
She's like, I can't say. Sneaky
She
face.
looks like the Cheshire cat. Oh, did I pronounce that wrong? Shut! I don't know if I got that or not.
All right,
Yeah, I
so
wouldn't know.
each of us have one. Sheila, you
Put
might
me
have to
down
keep
for
score.
one. Yeah, put me down for one. I might have screwed that.
We're starting next hour. I can't do it in 30 minutes like boards.
Okay, all right. We'll keep track of this, and see later. You do have to pay yours off at some point if you get these shots on the list here for pronouncing stuff wrong during the show today.
All right?
All right, so one
I'm
more.
making the page right now.
He's got it all set, and we'll pay these off before the end of the show. I promise you on that. Okay, we want to hear from you. All you need to do to join us on the show with your thoughts on the Alex Murdaugh verdict, or the juror talking out or speaking out, or anything like that. Go to thenewsjunkie.com and record on your first dispatch right now. We have some news about the Ultimate Highway Derby 4 coming up in just a bit. We'll do that at the top of the hour, as they say, and we'll let you know what's going on.
It's canceled.
Some interesting
Just kidding.
developments. It's not canceled, but we do have some news for you. And sure it wasn't the procrastinator?
It's not the procrastinator.
I said procrastinator. The
Solicitor.
Oh,
I'm the
solicitor.
solicitor.
All right, yeah.
That was close.
So he probably has some enemies behind bars. I mean, there's got to be somebody that's not too happy with Alex Murdaugh.
Because now he's going to state prison instead of federal.
I guess so, right? Yeah, because it was the state of South Carolina versus Alex Murdaugh.
All his financial crimes, I imagine that's going to be federal charges.
Yeah, that's right.
So does he do both?
Yeah, and I imagine they'll still go after those charges, even though he'll probably be in jail for the rest of his life on these alone. He admitted to a lot of stuff in that courtroom. He said,
I pooped my pants.
I did this and did that, financial fraud.
Do not grab them.
He said, I didn't take that. I didn't even talk behind it. I don't think it was perfect, crystal clear audio for you.
I said no.
You know what? How often before the next episode when the clip drops is there ever a
Stay
screen?
left.
Why is that? Because
you and Celia worked together on this?
I mean, there was many a years that I was the one putting in the clips, but here we are at the new HQ, and C-Lane now gets to decide what plays
Never
before
mind.
my segment.
I'll
It's
find a
never
new
him,
route.
you know. It's not generally him.
But I have
It was
his,
me
I have his
yesterday.
sound
John.
from
It was
for
me
days.
yesterday.
Which one was it?
Me doing my terrible eagle impression.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, y'all want 5 seconds of that?
A lot of them are me, and almost every time I go, don't remember saying that. But I guess that's what it's for. Okay, when we come back, we'll give you this announcement on the Ultimate Pinewood Derby 4. We'll see how everybody takes this news, and we'll move on. We got a bunch more things to get to on this lovely Friday. All that coming up next on the News Junkie.
Reed and Reed Attorneys at Law want you to know that they are here for you. They treat their clients like they treat their family and friends. Probably better if you ask their relatives. Whatever you need, you can count on Reed and Reed to be there every step of the way. When you call them, you speak to your attorney. Visit needreed.com. Remember, with Reed and Reed, it's like having a lawyer in the family. Offices Tampa, not attorney spokesperson.
If it's important to you, it's on, and probably being mocked by the News Junkie.
All right, some news for you about the Ultimate Pinewood Derby 4. Been a exhausting and frustrating couple of days.
Yes.
Here. I'm just going to try to be as frank with everybody as we can on this and not try to be too mean to any people involved and just let you know what's going on. So we decided this year to bring back the Ultimate Pinewood Derby 4. Why? It's a fun event. It's a good time. You take these little cars, you get a kit, you get to put the car together. It takes like 5 seconds to put it together, and then you could customize it however you want. You could
It
shape
does take 5 seconds if you're Peisenberg.
Yeah, he's already told me. He said he just bought his kit, Pizza Peisenberg did, and he said, I've got my Sharpie ready. I'm going to write my name on it, and I'm done. And that's his entry into the Ultimate Pinewood Derby 4. Yours may be more
It'd be hilarious
complex.
if this year he just didn't even put the wheels on.
Just the block slides down the track. Yeah, you can get crazy, though. You can shape these things however you want, and you can either be in the rules side of the Ultimate Pinewood Derby 4 or the no rules side where you just go hog wild, do whatever you want. And people have done some pretty crazy stuff in the past. We got big cash prizes. We got great trophies for the winners. You're going to get some swag. It's going to be a cool, cool event. We had everything all set up and ready to go. And then the venue said, no. And we're like, well, hold on. We were at the altar here. Can
we go back to the part where you said yes?
Yeah, you guys were doing this. We had everything set up. They go, no, there's a conflict of interest, and we were like, what? And
We were interested before.
yeah, and we said, what the hell's going on here? And they blamed it on Moses DeWitt. They said it was because of Mo. And there's a conflict with a sponsor that they have at their venue. Now, one thing I want you guys to stop doing is please stop burning down their phone lines right now, calling, asking questions about the Ultimate Pinewood Derby 4, because a lot of that is happening. Don't call them anymore, all right? Leave them alone. We're going to have some changes here. So they dropped us with pretty short notice here, and that has left the three of us scrambling, and our friend Josh helping us out as well over the last 48 hours. And when I say scrambling, How many potential venues have we had in the last 48 hours?
6.
1, 2, 3,
half dozen
4.
easy.
Oh, there was a new one today.
Yeah, there was
5.
a new one. So all of these places were like, can we do this? Can we do this? And it's just been a gigantic pain in the ass. And we also...
I feel like there's a reoccurring theme for us in our events so far.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to do less events, but the people love the events, and then... So we have to put ourselves through
Management
hell.
also loves the events.
Management loves the events, yes. Yeah. We just have to say, all right, we're going to deal with the stresses of this nonsense. So, yeah, the venue drops out, and then we go, what are we going to do? And we can't tell you anything because we don't have the new venue yet, and we don't know what's going on, and we don't know what we're going to have to do with this to save the Ultimate Pinewood Derby 4. But save it we will. You know, we're determined to do this, and we want to hang out with you and have a good time and have a fun, family-friendly event. And then we kind of set our sights on a place that, as long as we have been doing this show, we have never been there. We have never been to this place.
Speak for yourself. I did a comedy show there.
No, but I'm saying as a show, we haven't done any live shows there. We haven't done any events there.
No.
We haven't done anything like that
Have
as
you
a
ever
show.
been to Sanford?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've been a couple of times. It's great. Downtown Sanford is awesome.
Which, funny enough, when we first started the Pinewood Derby, we did it in Daytona because we had never done anything in Daytona.
Right.
That was like your whole thing. Like, let's go there. We've never done anything there.
And remember, we were on these 2 big tour buses headed over to Daytona, and we're like, I wonder if anybody's there. And we pull into the parking lot, and it looks like there's a music festival going on. There's like...
And everyone's been drinking since 9 a.m.
Everybody's hammered already. And we go...
That was an S show.
Here we go. Let's do this thing. Was that the first? No, it wasn't the first one.
That was the first one.
Oh, it was the first ever one we did. And even that was fun. You know, we had a blast. So we have a venue now. We have, unfortunately, had to move the date. So hopefully this lines up with everybody who's already got your team passes ready for the Ultimate Pinewood Derby 4. And we're just going to kick it back a couple of Saturdays. And we'll be doing the Ultimate Pinewood Derby locked in, loaded in, not changing.
99%.
This is what we're doing. Saturday, April 8th, okay? That's when this is going to go down. We've had to move the date because there's a million things going on. This was beyond our control, obviously. It's another Saturday. It's April 8th. And if you did buy a team pass and this doesn't work out for you, please email me, tips@thenewsjunkie.com, and we'll get you sorted out. But I know how good you are. You're great people. I'm sure you'll make it work. You'll make it line up, and we'll do this on Saturday, April 8th. Where's it going to be? It's going to be at Tuffy's in Sanford, in the beer garden area. It's the perfect place to do this. We haven't been out to Sanford as a show. We want to see all the people in Sanford because, you know, spectators, people who just want to watch and hang out and eat and drink and stuff, it's free for you. It's totally free for you to hang out with us at Tuffy's in Sanford on Saturday, April 8th for the Ultimate Pinewood Derby 4. Now, if you're in the Sanford area and you've been hearing us talk about this and you're like, damn, that's way better for me. Perfect time to get your team set up. Any of the businesses in Sanford, anybody else who wants to get involved, get those team passes while you can. This is a cool venue, and this is going to be fantastic. So what we want you to do is go to realradio.fm/derby. realradio.fm/derby. Get those team passes while they last. Again, if anybody has an issue with the new date on Saturday, April 8th, email tips@thenewsjunkie.com. I see Arya Shadowblade is seeing if she could figure this out or might not be able to do this on the 8th. That's fine. Email me, tips@thenewsjunkie.com. If you have passes, that is. Spectators, it's free to hang out. The people who want to be in the race and have a car and have a team and all of that stuff can still get those passes. I think there's like 14 or so of the rules left and a little bit over that of the no rules. So we need you to go over there and to support this event and get your team passes now. You get a bunch of stuff along with it, and we're going to have some fun for the fourth annual Ultimate Pinewood Derby. The Ultimate Pinewood Derby 4, Saturday, April 8th, locked and loaded at Tuffy's in Sanford. We want to see you there. And that is where we landed, okay?
So there you have it, folks.
And you know what? It only took us about 500 text messages to get there.
Oh, yeah.
Just a couple hundred text messages, 500 actually.
The fun is just beginning for us, gentlemen.
Oh, God, I hate events. But this one's fun, so do it. Go get your passes over there. realradio.fm/derby. Miss Maven says, holy hell, the Pinewood Derby date change might allow me to come down. We got another one who's going to the positive side here. I like that. We hope to see you out there. I saw this story. Oh, no, I feel like I might be stealing something from This Week in Florida. Oh,
Take a shot. That counts.
I didn't even think about it until now. We have This Week in Florida coming up.
So then,
I cannot do it. I'll do dispatches instead.
wow.
No, do the story.
What if you have this one? It's a good one.
I'll remember that when you steal next episode's story. Earlier this week,
He
you
only
did
gets
3
one.
in a row.
He only does one on Fridays, and it's an interesting story. I'm taking it.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry.
I didn't think there was any way that wasn't happening. So.
Put the curtain back down, man.
A Florida man who almost made it into This Week in Florida found a massive clam on the beach, and this guy said he was going to turn it into some clam chowder, which...
Oh, love me some clam chowder.
It sounds risky to just grab a clam off the beach and make your own clam chowder, unless you really know what you're doing.
I mean, I think typically you want to find the clams in the water.
Mm-hmm.
But
Seems healthier that way.
Maybe beach clams are good. The only thing is, a lot of times, when they say they find these like a shrimp that's lobster sized or something like that, and they go, well, would this be good to eat? It might not be.
Right, because it's at that point it's really, really old, or some of these are, and some of these things are not fantastic as they age, as they get bigger and bigger and bigger. And in this situation, this was a big ass clam this guy found. His name's Blaine Parker. The clam was more than 214 years old. That's what they told him when he brought it in.
And he ate it?
I think he said it was big enough for 2 servings of chowder. We were just going to eat it, but we thought about it a while. We figured it was probably pretty special, so we didn't want to kill it. Parker, a member of the Volunteer Army, or Group AmeriCorps, rather, ended up bringing the clam to the Gulf Specimen Marine Lab in Florida. He's also a specimen collector for the lab in Tallahassee.
Stay right.
It was a 6-inch,
Then exit right.
2.6-pound clam, estimated to be more than 214 years old.
Exit
Realizing
right.
how old it was, Parker named the clam Aberclam Lincoln. And
Nice.
There he goes. Out into Clam Hall of Fame
Is there a
territory.
picture of it?
I just see a clam here, but
This would never
this is
have
not
made
the
This
same
Week in
one.
Florida.
Oh, how dare you. Aberclam Lincoln is fantastic. That's a great name that he gave this thing. The photo that they're showing. Oh, here it is. Oh, yeah, this thing's huge. Let me bring this up. So
My gosh.
Oh, the stream can see this. He posted it on his Facebook page, or they did, the Gulf Specimen Aquarium.
I mean, do you think clams are like wine and cheese where
I
they
don't
get better
know.
with time?
That's what Celia was talking about with like lobsters
Like,
and stuff. They get
do
bigger.
they?
I'm
not bigger, but is it tastier?
I would have no clue on that. All I would worry is that the bigger it is, depending on how you're cooking it, the longer it's going to take to come to temperature. So, like, if you cook a shrimp, I almost said shrimp-sized lobster, a lobster-sized shrimp, then by the time the inside is done, the rest of it's going to be like, tough and rubbery and awful, unless possibly you sous vide it.
Look at this guy's clam there. This is pretty damn impressive. It's absolutely massive. It's the size of a softball or bigger. And he's showing this to the camera. I'll put this on See It Now during the break so everybody else who's listening can check this thing out. It's pretty damn impressive. Aberclam Lincoln. When we come back, we've got to get to you, your dispatches. We've got some emails to touch on and a 5-pronged attack plan. What's happening? That's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Reed and Reed Attorneys at Law want you to know that they are here for you. They treat their clients like they treat their family and friends. Probably better if you ask their relatives. Whatever you need, you can count on Reed and Reed to be there every step of the way. When you call them, you speak to your attorney. Visit needreed.com. Remember, with Reed and Reed, it's like having a lawyer in the family. Offices Tampa, not attorney spokesperson.
Story time with the 3 best friends you never knew you had. This is the News Junkie.
is how far spread everybody is. We got people everywhere, and we've got people all over the world who tune into the show, whether it's live or watching on YouTube or Twitch or just podcasting the show. And people tend to, with Game of Magnets, which if you're new to the show, we have the News Junkie Magnets. There's like 50,000 of them, and people have taken them all over the world. You can learn more at thenewsjunkie.com about all the designs and stuff. But right now, our friend Brad, the cameraman from Hollywood,
I saw his email.
He's moved all the way over to Australia at the moment, and he says, I forgot I had magnets with me in Australia until the show earlier tonight. I'll see where I can find them and put them around town in Australia.
What show?
It's at the Harry Styles
That's
show.
right. Watermelon sugar.
Sydney is where he's at, which is such a big deal that all the Australian news today was about this damn Harry Styles concert.
I would go to a show.
There was people lined up for days.
Is he going to drink out of more shoes?
I don't know if he's going to do that. He already did it
Wait,
once.
I mean, it is an Australian tradition.
Mm-hmm.
So I would imagine that he's going to be forced to take a shoe.
Every single time? He did it the last time we was playing.
Has he been in Australia this whole time?
Yeah, it was for the previous one. He was in another city.
Maybe now that he knows that this is a tradition, he'll just have somebody on his staff go buy new shoes.
Yeah, right.
It's a good move.
He
The
got a
craziest
fresh pair.
part for me was that he put it right back on.
Yeah.
And so as he's singing, the rest of his concerts.
It kind of seems like a trooper, that guy. He's getting right to it. Also, email tips@thenewsjunkie.com. Dan says, hey, Sean, I'm a podcast listener, so I'm a day or two behind, but I've been following the Bat story. Everybody talking about the Bat story. And if you don't know about this, there was a school that closed down, went to remote learning for like 4 days or something because they had some bats in the school, and they were worried about the kids. And they went in there and killed some of the bats. They found 4 bats total. And Dan says 4 bats aren't a lot, but they're no joke. I work at a children's hospital, and it's protocol that if a kid comes into the ER, we find out there's a single bat in the house. It's recommended the whole family gets the rabies vaccine and immunoglobulin.
Love that.
Whoa, almost a shot. Probably
No, I think
still
you nailed
a shot.
it. Immunoglobulin.
He's trying to kill me. They can bite you and wouldn't even notice at night until it was too late. It's likely a liability for the school if a kid gets bit and dies. Probably not a good look, says Dan. They did say, doesn't help my argument any, but that one of the kids got scratched by one of the bats.
Bat scratch fever.
That's not how the song goes. That's not how it goes at all. We're going to go to you and your dispatches from the News Junkie app in just a moment. I cannot wait until political season gets here. Oh, all the attack ads.
Counting down the days. I have an advent calendar for it.
Oh, it's going to be so great.
Yeah.
Is there whiskey in each little door?
No, just like things that hurt me just a little bit.
Yeah.
And the very last day, I just stabbed myself in the eye.
And it's going to go on forever and ever and ever.
And whiskey.
And they were talking
Stay right,
today in
then exit
Axios
right.
about what they expect to happen here. And they said that it's the old Trump versus
Exit
DeSantis
right.
showdown. These two are going to smack each other around, and only one shall be the victor.
Honestly, I really can't wait for that.
That's
Get
going to
ready
be
to
bloody.
turn left.
They're really going to go at it. But I think DeSantis is going to beat Trump, and it's being
Not according to the polls that they
No.
keep bringing up all the time.
Turn
DeSantis
left.
is actually winning in a lot of the polls.
Not the one that I saw this morning, and I mean, I imagine it would be on most local Fox affiliates. I found it to be very random because they were like, here's what's happening in town. Here's the weather. And then here's
Here's a
this
Trump
tiny
poll.
little portion. But yeah, Trump was up at 50-something%.
Well, DeSantis.
Oh, I don't know where that was from then.
DeSantis certainly
I'm
wasn't.
not lying, I swear.
No, I believe you.
He certainly wasn't winning in that little diner
No.
near his hometown.
Yeah, when they went to
where
that diner.
everybody was for Trump.
Yeah, he didn't do very well.
Stay
Even
right,
the woman in the DeSantis
then
shirt said
turn
Trump.
right.
That's not great.
Trump.
So they said Trump's got a 5-part plan
Turn
to
right.
attack Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. He's going to go
How
after
very Michael Scott of him.
DeSantis' past support for changes to Social Security and Medicare. His disloyalty to Trump. That's a big Trump thing if you're disloyal to him. After he helped DeSantis get elected governor in 2018, Trump also plans to pound DeSantis on likability. I don't know if you're in great standing there. If you're Trump and you're like, he's not likable, I'm going to go after him.
Oh my gosh, they're calling him Daddy.
Yeah, and here's the other thing.
Ew.
Trump's nickname for Ron DeSantis is so stupid. and he's just
Sanctimonious.
Get ready
tripling
to
down
turn
on
left.
this. The man who has more nicknames about his name than DeSantis, Death Santis, all those stupid things.
DeSatan.
And he picks
Turn left.
Ron DeSanctimonious. That's so stupid. That is the dumbest nickname I've ever heard him say.
You're stupid.
It's so stupid, and then he's so full of himself that he'll never go, damn it, the nickname was bad. I should have just started calling him Meatball.
Exactly.
He's too
Me-
far in.
Safe
I
and
just
sound.
pulled it up trying to see if there was a list of DeSantis nicknames, and then New York Magazine in February, Trump is too woke to call DeSantis Meatball Ron.
If he was going to go for
What's
it.
meatball? What does meatball mean?
I think it was just saying like he's fat. I think that's, they're going
They're
for it.
both fat.
He doesn't care though. Trump will still call somebody else fat even if he's fat.
I do it all the time.
Makes it easier.
I've done it today.
And they said he's also going to go after his connection to Paul Ryan, House Speaker Paul Ryan. On Trump's social media site, Truth Social, he attacked Paul Ryan as a loser who couldn't get elected dog catcher.
Okay.
Really throwing out some barbs.
Is that
there.
something you run for?
Can't even get elected dog catcher, he said. And he's going to go after DeSantis' response to COVID, which I don't think is going to work for him either, because Republicans in Florida loved having Ron DeSantis as the governor during the pandemic. I don't think that's going to land like he thinks it is. And then 5, they say, DeSantis took heat for muddled comments in a Fox interview about Ukraine and whether or not he supports us funding their military. And that 5-point plan sounds terrible. All your followers, Trump, all they want you to do is just crap all over people. So just do that. Don't even worry about the actual policies.
Point number 1, he's rude to Trump.
That will be number 1 on his list.
He hates McDonald's.
Ron DeSanctimonious is the stupidest nickname. That's the worst one he's ever come up with.
Ron DeSanctimonious eats at Burger King. He's a loser.
That's the one when he said Ron DeSanctimonious and the crowd at his own event wasn't even going nuts for it. I said, I think he's lost it. He had a little magic
because
over the
they don't know what
crazies.
DeSanctimonious means.
That could be the case, but it's just a stupid one. It doesn't make any sense. It's a bad nickname. We're going to go to you. We've got nicknames for you. They're called your dispatch names, actually. And you got stuff on your mind. This is how you can join us here on the show today. Go to thenewsjunkie.com and hit record on your first dispatch right now, like this one. Here's I'm Not a Hippie with a dispatch.
You see?
Hey.
I told you I had bad luck with the Pinewood Derby events.
Oh, no.
You guys rescheduled, and that's the same day as my stepdaughter's play in Kissimmee.
You're kidding me.
But the positive
Skip
side
the
is
play.
8 minutes
Skip
away from
the
downtown.
play.
And I go to Tuffy's all the time.
Two's
so
enough.
hopefully after the play, we can all come out and have a good time.
There you go.
Finally, I get to enjoy the Pinewood Derby.
You know what?
Yeah, because that's matinee, right?
Yeah.
It'll be early. It's like 10, 11.
You could still swing by. We're starting at 11 for check-in, and then 12 to 4 is the actual event.
When we were talking about our journey over the past couple days on locking a new place down
What a nightmare.
for the Pinewood Derby, 2 texts that stood out in my head that were just really kind of funny to me. One person said, "What about Finnegan's at Universal? They love you." I go, yeah, that would be fantastic if we could just throw it at Universal Studios.
Let's go.
Everybody gets in free. Why not? Yeah.
And then Justin on the texting service says, "My house has nothing scheduled, just saying." I was like, what if we just announced to everybody, listen, guys, we're moving the Pinewood Derby to Justin's house.
Remember when MTV used to do that, and they'd have like a contest, and Metallica would go play at just some random fan's house that won the contest?
I mean, that would be cool.
Yeah.
If we were to do the live show with no live audience except for whoever's house it is, that makes sense. But you realize that there would be hundreds of people.
Yeah, it's going to really fill your place up.
I had to find a picture from past derbies and send it over to the possible venues, and I was like, this many people might show up by the hundreds.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that come out, and we did reschedule it because we had some issues with where we're going to have this, so we had to move it back. It's Saturday, April 8th. It's at Tuffy's in Sanford, and that's a great, great venue. In the beer garden, we're going to race these cars, and you could take part, win cash prizes, get an awesome trophy if your team wins. You can go rules or no rules. If you want to follow the Pinewood Derby rules, pick that. If not, pick the no rules category. Get yours while you can. Go to realradio.fm/derby. Here's Texas for Life with a dispatch.
What up, junkies?
Hey.
Sean?
Yeah.
Thanks for playing my dispatch. I emailed you about the DFW Game of Magnets. Magnets.
I'm sending those.
Can't wait. I will make sure to have one on the back of the car at all times. Put the magnets to good use so everybody in the North DFW DFW, Carrollton, Addison area.
Right there. Love that
Be
place.
on the lookout. And yeah, it's a great Friday. Got off early.
Saturday, Sunday.
Thought it'd take me a couple caps, go out here and play round of 18 with one of my buddies.
Caps? He's gonna eat shrooms?
Gonna go play golf. Oh,
great start
why
to the
not?
weekend.
People play golf on shrooms?
Hell
does
yeah.
sound like a good time.
I wouldn't play golf without being on shrooms.
Wow, would you still be able to swing and everything? I feel like I would.
Do your arms fall off when you take shrooms?
No, but you definitely lose your sense of balance a little bit, and you your vision is off a little bit too. You think you could play golf better? Definitely not better, right?
It'd be more fun though.
Like there are things if you do on drugs, you could do them better. I think, but I don't think that's one of them.
Like dance.
You think that you're that's a key.
Or for me, it's a couple of drinks, and all of a sudden I'm dad dancing.
Yeah,
Turn right, and then
that
turn
never
right.
looked good. I retired that. I said I can't put this out there in the
Oh, when
world.
Sean starts clapping, that's how you know.
Yeah, you know what? I wish I could dance. I wish I was a good dancer like that. But you either have that in your bones, or you
Turn right.
like I wish I could play the drums. I will never be able to play the drums.
If you could play the
Wow.
drums, you would be a better dancer.
I
you
would,
know?
yeah, because of the rhythm
Just
that comes
keep
with
into
all
the
that. Yeah, I can't
You
do
played
that.
music.
I played music, but guitar I can do. All the other stuff. No. But it's not that. It's like having to have one hand do something and then the other
Talking
hand do
about
a different
dancing.
thing. Oh, dancing is the same thing. I don't know how to move my body parts around like that. I can't do it. And even in
Yeah,
my
they
head.
say the way you dance is a reflection of how you make love.
Well, in my case, it's not because I'm good at making.
Do you have a rhythm there, just not the music?
Yeah, rhythm's easy. And
Bye.
I call it the jackhammer.
Go straight.
That was different.
You're more of a drum and bass kind of lover, huh?
Are you telling me when
The
you're
30-second thrust button.
when you're dancing, you never feel weird? You never think like this is kind of weird? No?
No.
What about
I've been dancing for years.
I have this when I do lots of stuff. I probably look weird. When I'm swimming in the pool, like if I'm actually
Stay back,
swimming, I'm like,
and then
I feel
turn
like I
left.
look weird, right?
Because you're flailing.
Yeah, because I probably am. And I've never seen myself do it, so I don't know what it actually looks like.
Turn
what am I
left.
supposed to do here? I wish I was better at this stuff. Maybe I'll just take some shrooms and play around with golf. Here's the saltpeter chiming in. Here we go.
Oh, sea lane, come on, buddy. We all know beach clam is the best kind of clam.
Is it? I don't know if he's going for double entendre or...
But if he is,
Yeah, it's
not.
still
It's
the word.
not.
Yeah.
And it's not great for the clam.
Yeah, it's bad all the way around.
You get an infection.
Here's Laureen chiming in about the Alex Murdaugh kids.
Hey guys, happy Friday.
Saturday.
Just wanted to comment on the Murdoch trial. I have a bit of a true crime obsession. Needless to say, I have been glued to the TV watching every drop of testimony. And I agree with the juror. One, I asked them to get on TV so fast because they had to keep quiet for 6 weeks.
That's true.
Not being able to discuss any of their opinions, anything about the case that has to be so incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, that was like, we want to get that out of our system. We want to hear from the Citizen Dispatch. Junkie.com and report on your first dispatch right now.
honestly, I would imagine that the situation one doesn't have. I don't know if Brad and her out, but I think that's what
Yeah, the people, they actually go and talk about it when they're not supposed to. Yeah.
I mean, you're not supposed to go home and tell your wife about it.
Yeah, it's like a human desire to share stuff like that.
Well, even if you have your lunch break
Mhm.
and want to talk to the other jurors about what's going on.
Right. It's the
they're
only
like,
thing
you
in your
guys can
life."
go to lunch together. If you say anything about this
Yeah, everything in their life is that case. Okay, when we come back, the next episode with
Oh, yeah.
Sabrina. What is coming up on the next episode?
Hello, darkness.
Wow.
Damn
It's
it.
going to get real dark. It's going to get real dark real quick.
What's coming up on the next episode? Christina Aguilera goes from "You are beautiful no matter what they say" to "You could be more beautiful if you listen to what I say." On this week's edition of It's a Conspiracy, we have Aaron Carter. Come get it. Plus, Honey Boo Boo's boo made a big boo-boo. All that and so much more coming up next episode.
And that is coming up next on the News Junkie.
Read and Read Attorneys at Law want you to know that they are here for you. They treat their clients like they treat their family and friends. Probably better if you ask their relatives. Whatever you need, you can count on Read and Read to be there every step of the way. When you call them, you speak to your attorney. Visit needread.com. Remember, with Read and Read, it's like having a lawyer in the family. Offices Tampa, not attorney spokesperson.
On a constant quest to stay calm, like that bear in the hammock. This is the News Junkie.
The next episode in just a moment. All things happening in the world of entertainment and beyond. Guess what, friends? If you miss even a moment of the show, you can get the podcast. Go subscribe to it right now. Tell your friends about it. Get them hooked on the News Junkie. And do that at thenewsjunkie.com. Look right there on the side. You'll see the section with all the links for podcasts, iHeartRadio, iTunes, or just the RSS feed. So however you want to subscribe, you can do it right there at thenewsjunkie.com. All right, let's do it. Let's get into it. Let's do the next episode.
Because there's a lot on TV and you can't possibly keep up with all of it, even though you should, because what else are you going to talk about?
Do you want some for the tea time?
Nothing. Weather's nice. It's time for the next episode with Sabrina. Hey.
Did you hire a British man?
I did. That was real.
Smoke weed every day.
Hold up. The next episode brought to you by That Mortgage Guy Don, thatmortgageguyDon.com, and of course, the Home Loans Radio Show. You can tune in every weekend and log in at any time of the day to get your mortgage on. He is the man to use, and he is here for you. ThatmortgageguyDon.com. 15 years ago, 2008, this band won a record, set it, as a matter of fact, for the longest album title with the release of their album that featured the song.
Chumbawamba.
Chumbawamba is right.
Okay, the song is Tub Thumping. It's the album.
The album is Tub Thumper. It's not a different album.
All right,
Goes
fine.
again.
I assume
This
that's
is not on the album with the longer title, you're saying?
I don't believe it to be.
I guess I only know one song from Chumbawamba.
Yeah, me too.
But it was the album of the Boy Bands Have Won. That's just part of it. The actual full title contains 864 characters and 156 words.
That's a lot.
That I will start reading now.
Right.
JK, this gal right here.
Hey y'all, it's me,
Honey Boo Boo.
Honey Boo Boo.
Pumpkin, Mama June, Eddie B, all my peeps come sing with me.
Hey y'all, dude, I can't believe what happened with Alana Thompson.
Her voice.
She has been, well, her boyfriend was arrested for DUI following a police chase with Honey Boo Boo in the car.
Not good.
Not good at all. 21-year-old Draylin Parswell drives well. Not that much, actually, because he was cuffed on Tuesday in Monroe County, according to police. 17-year-old Alana was in the car with Draylin when the tags on his Dodge Charger were run by police, which showed the owner of the vehicle had outstanding warrants.
Damn.
And then, boom! The chase ensued. A Monroe County Lieutenant John Thompson says an officer then attempted to do the traffic stop.
Oh, that's a shot. She mispronounced the word. That's a shot on the list.
Traffic stop.
You're in dangerous territory during your own segment right
know,
here. Don't think about it too
Trying
hard.
to be chill about
Don't
it.
get locked in your head if you're just joining us.
Thanks. Saying that's going to make it way better.
We made
Just
a
don't
bet
think about it at all.
that if we screw up
3
any
miles.
words today, we have to take a shot for it.
They did the chase for 3 miles, ending up in a pit maneuver, spinning the car out. He has been arrested, another passenger in the car, also arrested for outstanding warrants. So Honey Boo Boo hanging out with some cool peeps.
Man, is she going to turn the way of her mom? Remember when her mom was really getting messed up and stuff?
Yeah, marrying the pedophile?
Yeah, and she had really bad drug problems. Ugh, not
Speaking of mamas, the mother of this guy.
Aaron Carter.
Well, Aaron Carter's mother believes that he was actually murdered.
Uh-oh.
Along with all the other conspiracy theorists, it was not an overdose, and went as far as to posting the crime scene photos on her Facebook
I
yesterday.
saw this. Wasn't that really weird?
It was bizarre. I ended up on her Facebook page. I just tried to find it during the intro, so maybe one of you guys can find it, because the article led right to it, and then I started going through all of her posts, and she's having one of those, I don't know. It's not crazy person. It reminds me very much of a boomer Facebook, where they just type all their thoughts and press enter and then continue, but posted all of the crime scene photos.
So if you don't know the story, Aaron Carter, pop star, we found him dead in the bathtub, and his mom, for some reason, decided to release some of these photos, and they're really...
Yeah, photos of towels on the floor. What appears to be contaminated water spilled on the balcony tile. By contaminated, it's like...
Yeah, it's rough.
No, she also said that these weren't photos taken by law enforcement, and it's wrong. It's wrong cops allowed anyone in the house after Aaron's body was discovered, so I guess this was with somebody else. Now, there was something to it, at least that she pointed out. The tub was completely full.
Yes.
With no water spilled on the floor.
You know, this is kind of strange. Take my laptop and see if folks watching on YouTube, Twitch, etc. It's the news junkie on this platform. They censored the water in the bathtub on the Daily Mail. Was it bloody?
No,
it was
that's
just, it was
the
like,
color that it was.
Yeah, it was like murky looking. They kind of like yellow and dark. Like the color of somebody died. Yes, exactly.
She also said that she found it suspicious that Aaron was allegedly pulled from the tub while someone performed CPR on the singer, yet the towels appeared to be perfectly placed. So, all that and more, and then you can certainly wormhole into her Facebook page. I don't know if there's any investigations into it.
You know, it's really sad that her kid died. You never want to see anything like that. But sharing the photos of the death scene of your child, that is... She probably just like going through some stuff.
Yeah, very strange. And then TMZ picks it up as an interview with her.
Right.
Because who needs morals, right? Who needs correct answers on this show? Everybody.
Price is right. Damn it! It was one of the two of them.
Is right. And I think it was last week that we had that poor college girl who had all of the letters but one. The word was fresh, and she went with frogs.
That's gonna hurt your feelings afterwards.
And we now have a new fail on the Wheel of Fortune that's going to drive a lot of people insane. Now, there were only 2 letters missing on the board. The contestant chose to try and solve the puzzle. It seemed clear as day. It was warm toasted bagels, the middle part,
Okay.
with L-O blank and cream cheese. It's warm toasted bagels with blocks of cream cheese.
That seems to make sense.
Let's see what the contestant said.
Warm toasted bagels with lots of cream cheese. Did you get that?
R.
Yeah.
Come on. Warm toasted bagels, lots of cream cheese. Let's make numbers. Lock
B,
it.
please.
Stay
Yes. So now just the 2 letters.
Come on.
Warm toasted bagels with low and cream cheese.
Wow!
That's right. Get low, low, low.
What the hell is low?
You know, you never had a low bagel?
With low and cream cheese?
So now she's being ripped apart on the internet. The person right after her decided to solve it with complete ease. This has nothing to do with Wheel of Fortune, but it does have to do with television. Turns out that these are real life instances, thanks to our friends over at BuzzFeed, of people saving lives thanks to what they saw on the television.
It's gonna
Let
drop.
it drop. 3, 2, 1, baby. A man was accused of murder, but his appearance on Curb Your Enthusiasm gave him an alibi.
Yeah, that's a
Famous
great
case.
story. And it's a great episode.
The contestant on X Factor got diagnosed with a serious lung disease after Simon Cowell and Sharon Osbourne pointed out a weird rasp in her voice.
Oh, okay. I've heard this about like other things. I'm sure it might be on the list, but like doctors watching and seeing stuff.
This is something in which I feel like one of these days I'll be able to save a life, because because of the amount I've watched Grey's Anatomy, but a woman from Israel got a second opinion on her cancer diagnosis because of Grey's Anatomy. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Get off your laptops.
I'm listening to you.
A German doctor was able to diagnose a patient with severe heart failure after watching House, which is a red flag here. A German doctor should already be able to diagnose.
Yeah. The doctor's like, hold on, I've got to
watching
consult
House.
with television shows here.
A man saved his daughter's life by using CPR that he learned from which show that you both love so much and quote all the time?
The Office.
The Office. You never quote scripts.
I quote sometimes.
Yeah, go ahead. Quote
I don't know anything more. That wasn't
the music wasn't playing. That 13-year-old autistic student saved his classmate's life by using the Heimlich maneuver he learned from SpongeBob SquarePants.
Man, that would be so cool to write an episode of a show and hear like somehow it saved somebody's life. That's great.
But why save someone's life when you can just record a song with the lead singer of this band? Kiss is right! And Gene Simmons is hitting up the famous Abbey Road studio. You know, the one with the Beatles.
That's a big studio in music history.
And he's inviting fans to join him. On July 10th, fans will be able to spend the day with Gene, record a Kiss song with him. Probably pay some royalties if they ever want to release it. No musical experience is necessary, and it only costs you $5,995.
Oof. No music experience is needed. Can you imagine what that might sound like?
Auto-tuned?
The poor sound engineer that has to see over this. Oh, God.
They say you'll be gifted with items from Gene's personal Kiss collection. Take photos and videos with him, and he'll sign not one, but 2 of your personal items.
He's going to limit it at that, though. Don't bring 3. You're done for.
It's also a very random price. It's not going towards charity.
Yeah,
is
why
it?
wouldn't they just make it $5,000 flat?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
Yeah,
too.
more than that.
And finally, on this next episode, this group right here and their holograms are headed out on tour.
ABBA.
ABBA is right. Plans are underway to take the ABBA Voyage hologram concert on a world tour. Currently runs in a special 3,000-seat venue in London that was built especially for the show. And they're like, you know what? Gimme some more around the world.
I wonder how this is going to go.
I'll tell you because I'm definitely going. I love ABBA so much. On the boob tube, you Google it. How about that? And follow your dreams. Send me on Instagram at Sabrina Ambra. Give her a follow. And most importantly, stay with me, America.
Smoke weed every day.
You got through it. You did it. You didn't
I had
screw
one
up any
flow.
other
One
words.
shot.
You could have caught.
Do you have the count?
Yeah.
What are we at right now?
It's surprisingly just 2-1.
2-1. All right. Well, there's a lot more words for me to screw up. And if we take the shots at some
it's
point.
about to be my turn.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, we'll keep the tally rolling and we'll pay off those shots before the end of the show today. If you want to watch us, you could go to YouTube or Twitch. Just search for The News Junkie and peek right into the studio. It's a full-on production. We got our friend Mo DeWitt joining us. A whole lot more on the way. So send us a dispatch. We got Dispatch of the Week, too. We have to crown a winner for this. So we need to get some great ones in. TheNewsJunkie.com is where you can hit record on your first dispatch right now. When we return, we'll do This Week in Florida.
Yeah.
And we'll see if C-Line could get through it without screwing up any words. If he mispronounces something, then he's in deep trouble. And he has to take a shot.
It's going to be fantastic.
Big.
Right there. Get it all out now. It's coming up next on The News Junkie.
Reed and Reed Attorneys at Law want you to know that they are here for you. They treat their clients like they treat their family and friends. Probably better if you ask their relatives. Whatever you need, you can count on Reed and Reed to be there every step of the way. When you call them, you speak to your attorney. Visit needreed.com. Remember, with Reed and Reed, it's like having a lawyer in the family. Office is Tampa, non-attorney spokesperson.
High diving face first into the world's most viral newsroom. This is the News Junkie.
in just a moment. We'll find out what happened and what makes us look very, very bad to the rest of the United States of America as C-Lane gets into that. What are we up? I have to do one shot for mispronouncing a word on the show so far?
So far, just one.
I mean,
that we've
I
noticed.
poured you enough for two, so relax.
This is a big dog over here.
Yeah.
But I'll punish myself with it. The problem is, this sort of sets me up, because if I do a shot right now for mispronouncing a word earlier, then the shot is going to make me mispronounce more words.
It's a snowball effect.
Yeah.
This was your idea.
All right, cheers. Are you doing yours? Your punishment shot?
Sure.
There you go.
Oh, he did the whole thing. And he does
Despite the warning.
He does not know how to not empty a shot glass, this guy.
Ha! See you later. You ready?
Yeah.
Aye, Captain.
Let's do This Week in Florida.
Giving you a recap of the most groan-worthy stories in the state. It's This Week in Florida.
That's right. The weekend is here, friends, and it's time to take a trip around the great state of Florida, the Sunshine State, and see some of the
Sunshine State,
and see some of the craziness that has gone on in the past 7 days or so. And I'd like to take a couple minutes to talk to you about Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh!
All right,
I got you.
Usually that ends conversations for me, but let's go.
More specifically, the Jesus Christ lizard, which is an invasive species that could be harmful to people and to Florida's environment.
Does it have a beard and turn water into wine?
Actually, there is a reason that they call it the Jesus Christ lizard. It
What
does
does it
not
do?
look like Jesus. It's something that this lizard does or can do.
Walk
that-
on water.
Yeah, the lizard walks on water.
I've seen that before on a clip where it was doing that. We have those in
You
Florida.
watch weird porn.
This was like was it on Planet Earth or something like that?
Maybe. I don't know. It says some people refer to it.
I'm asking C-Lane where I saw a clip of something.
I don't know where you saw the clip, Sean.
Where was the clip?
I'm not around you 24/7. Some people refer to it as the Jesus Christ lizard because the creature can walk on water. It says more accurately,
There we go.
it runs atop the water. I don't know what the difference is between walking on water and running atop. Are they trying to say that the lizard just runs so fast that it never sinks?
Yeah, but it's still. I guess it's running on water instead of walking on water. But I think it counts.
The actual name of the animal is the brown basilisk lizard.
Hell
They're
yeah.
native to parts of Mexico, Central America, and South America, and it is a carnivore. They feed on insects, including invasive mosquitoes, which also bite the lizards. But there's like the potential for these
Mosquitoes
lizards.
get through the lizard's scales. I mean, do lizards
I don't
have
think it's
scales?
I don't think it's one of those like thick-scaled lizards. You okay?
Sorry.
So the
He
potential...
doesn't like talking about scales.
Sorry, the shot.
Trigger word.
The thing they're worried about is the potential for these lizards to be hosts for mosquito-borne diseases. So there's a possible human health impact there. So
what are we supposed to do? Just not touch them, or do we squash
I
them?
think you stay away from them.
All right.
You're supposed to eat them, Sean.
They're calling on Floridians who see the lizards to snap photos and upload them on a state app called I've Got One.
Okay.
Never heard. It's one.
That's where our tax dollars are going.
One word app called I've Got One.
My sister's friend ate a lizard one time for $5 in a Nintendo game.
Okay.
Just letting you know that. It's one
Didn't
of
Your
the-
sister's friends are interested.
Yeah, it's very, very easy to make them do stuff, I guess.
Didn't you tell us this story because we had a story about a guy that died from eating a salamander?
Yeah, and he, like, just, I don't know what they're called, just the regular ass lizards that you see outside.
Yeah.
Those ones, that's what
That's
he
what I call them, regular ass
The ones
lizards.
you used to put on your earlobes, you could, make them bite
That's
down.
an acreage thing.
Yeah, it is.
Nah, I saw people do it in Central Florida. It was just a kid thing. I
Yeah.
just never cared.
We
to
could do it today.
I'm
I can go get one.
go get me a lizard.
All right.
Over to Bunnell, something
Take a
like
shot.
that. It's spelled like that. Well, you got to keep score for me.
I
'cause
got you. 2 so far.
I'm not doing this. What began as a routine traffic stop became a drug bust for the Flagler County Sheriff's Office. Deputies say they found drugs in the car and other places.
Okay.
And in the entirety of this article, they don't specifically mention what the other place is, but they use quotes every time they say body cavity.
Oh, this person had it, like,
The butt.
inside them.
Don't know that it was the butt, though.
Was it a female?
It was a female.
Oh, could have been either.
The sheriff's
nature's
office
pocket.
arrested Anthony Pezza and Tiffany Chapman, who deputies say had plans to distribute methamphetamine and marijuana. Deputies say both were asked to exit the vehicle. They were asked if there were any narcotics in their possession, which they both said no. And then all of a sudden, during the sweep of the vehicle, Chapman stated she had drugs in her body cavity. Quotes. And they said, according to deputies, a female deputy was requested and assisted Chapman with removing the drugs from her body cavity. At which point they found 10.8 grams of meth.
Well, that seems like a lot,
Right after the body cavity there.
Jeez, I thought you were going to say like a gram or something. That's a lot to have.
I mean, that's probably all the way to her womb.
Yeah. Just pulling it out like a clown.
Big old thing.
Up in the body cavity. All right, I'm going to copy paste you this link here so you can watch this video. That the officer, as he was doing this, he lassoed a gator with a tow rope. And he said...
God, that's so Florida.
Yeah, that is. It's super Florida. And he said, I hope somebody gets this on video, which is odd because he's an officer of the law wearing a body camera. Said,
We're stacking them up over here.
Cuffs just weren't going to cut it this time. To take the suspect into custody, Florida police officer had to get creative. The 6.5-foot reptile, this alligator, had entered a grassy field near a neighborhood. Officers attempted to box it in with their patrol cars, and then using a yellow emergency tow strap, after several tries, Officer Manuel Oral, it's a rough last name to grow up with, he was able to successfully lasso the creature. Do you have the link here?
Yeah, I see the
video.
alligator here. Pretty good sized alligator here.
It's he said, I was able to lasso it around its top leg, and it was in the midsection where I was able to just hold it and secure it so it wouldn't go into the street. I hope somebody got this on video. He can be heard on his own body cam, saying as he secured the rope, wrapping the foam padding to the front of the vehicle. There's no video?
I haven't seen a video. I just see these.
Son of a
intrude into the body cam.
Going to that stupid story. Sorry about that.
We'll take your word for it, Eli.
Sure, it was awesome.
How about the video from the next link?
I got that.
Where we'll go to that one now, because the ESPN broadcast team says, is this part of the show? During Friday's college softball matchup between Bradley University and Gardner-Webb University in the Knights Classic Tournament. They expressed what everybody was thinking when a pair of parents flew onto the field of play and eventually the home plate umpire's shoulder. There's a couple of parents in this video here just flew into the stadium.
Oh my God, I love that so much.
They're beautiful.
Where was this?
Yeah, they are.
How close are they to the Metro Zoo? Oh, it's probably so scared.
Probably, yes.
These aren't wild, right?
No.
You wouldn't think so.
It's going to land on them? He's just going to get back to the game. Yeah, that's somebody's pet.
He looks way too comfortable having a parrot on his shoulder.
He's so happy.
I think a lot of people would not try and pet a parrot like that.
No.
I would immediately. I'll get all my fingers taken off.
Yeah,
I need to.
I think a parrot's beak like that is supposed to be able to do some real damage to you.
And that's a huge beak.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not like the
Biggest beak in the whole world.
just your pinky finger. That's a whole index.
Those are really amazing birds.
They're beautiful
Do
looking
you want
birds.
one?
Yeah, I would like one.
So they say
I'm thinking like a studio bird would be pretty cool.
Yeah, it'd be perfect for the radio show.
You could teach it to say
To
all
go
the
to
stuff you
break.
said.
Yeah, it's going to just
You're
make
listening
noise.
to the news junkie.
You're, send in your first dispatch right now.
I'm not saying no. I'm saying maybe.
So you can add parrots to the list of multiple animals that have interrupted some sort of baseball game. It's always baseball, because I think...
well,
so boring.
That bird during a baseball game fared much better than the bird that was hit by Randy Johnson, I think, the pitcher.
Oh, yeah.
When he threw the
smithereens.
The bird just disappeared when he hit that thing.
all kinds of bills being thrown in the air. Bill crazy in Tallahassee right now.
They're getting a little wild.
They're getting a little wild. We
Oh,
talked,
not like a strip club.
No. We talked earlier in the week about how they're trying to just eliminate the Democrats.
Yeah, clever tactic, right?
Just throw everything up there and see what sticks. A bill to eliminate Democrats, make them call themselves something else. They're all automatically NPN. And now there is a bill that would require bloggers who write about the governor to register with the state.
Okay.
So, and it says any state official, but we're thinking this is like if you write about DeSantis, you're going to need to register.
I saw this.
Or else you'll be fined.
The weirdest thing about this, I thought, was they want to do this to show who's funding whatever political writings are going on, but then they exclude all newspapers and everything else. You know what that makes it look like? It makes it look like there's a blogger out there that you don't like in particular, and you just want to go after that
This is
one person.
100% witch hunt kind of bill. Florida Senator Jason Broder wants bloggers to write about Governor Ron DeSantis, Attorney General Ashley Moody, and other members of the Florida Executive Cabinet or Legislature to register with the state or face fines. The proposal, Senate Bill 1316, information dissemination, would require any blogger writing about government officials to register with the Florida Office of Legislative Services or the Commission on Ethics. And they say that failure to file these disclosures with state officials if the bill passes would lead to daily fines for the bloggers. The maximum amount per report not per writer of $2,500. The per day fine, if it's late, is $25 a day. That is just
you got these Florida Republicans, the House and the Florida Senate, who are just writing up some wacky ass stuff that they know is never going to pass, and they're just, it's really stupid.
Like, get daddy ready for that presidential run.
I mean, the idea that you're going to eliminate the other party, like you're going to eliminate your opponent. No matter what you think about Democrats, it's like, dude, this is never going to happen.
Works.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And last but not least, in this week in Florida, you don't do this, even though this is something I totally would have done as a child. You're not supposed to make these kind of jokes at the airport.
Oh, the bomb
jokes. Anything related to bombs or
I do
weapons.
it. I do it all the time.
No, you
Yeah,
don't.
yeah. When, ask Courtney. Ask her every time.
But not at TSA.
Yeah, no, not to
You say it to her.
I'll be like, I should have that bomb. And I just say it to her, and it gets her so she hates it every time.
Well, deputies responded to Terminal 1 at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport after TSA reported a security alert from a carry-on bag belonging to Dorian Young Davis of Dayton, who turned 26 years old on Sunday. Happy birthday. Authorities said while being patted down by a TSA agent, Davis was heard saying, "Whole time they missed a whole bomb in my bag." She was arrested and charged with making a false report for a bomb threat against the government publicly owned property. And that's it for this week in Florida.
That one doesn't count, but the rest of them do. How many?
You had 3.
How many are you at on the list now? Celine's got 2, I think.
I put 3 down for Celine. I was just like looking at him, and then I did add your name for 1. I didn't know for sure.
It's a good strategy.
Where am I at?
You just said you had 2.
We got all these down, and
Perfect. Blackout, here we come.
Yeah, it should get a little rocky before the end of the show, which we always toss this on the Cuomo. He's going to be hanging out with us momentarily. That's be fun. But when we come back, the people who are living around the Jack Daniels facility, the distillery, are freaking out right now because there's something that puts them in imminent danger as a result of being next to the Jack Daniels Bourbon Distillery. What the hell's going on? That's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Reed and Reed Attorneys at Law want you to know that they are here for you. They treat their clients like they treat their family and friends. Probably better if you ask their relatives. Whatever you need, you can count on Reed and Reed to be there every step of the way. When you call them, you speak to your attorney. Visit needreed.com. Remember, with Reed and Reed, it's like having a lawyer in the family. Office is Tampa, non-attorney spokesperson.
Watching the world burn with some friends since 2007. This is the News Junkie.
Well, there are only 10 team spots left for the Ultimate Pinewood Derby 4. So if you want to play on the teams side of things for our big event, which is coming up on April 8th at Tuffy's in Sanford, go get those now before the rules side is totally sold out. Go to realradio.fm/derby, realradio.fm/derby, and get those while you can, because it looks like rules is going to be the first category to sell out. Let me tell you about a nightmare here. This story came out a day or two ago, but now there are more details, and every little thing I hear about this gives me more and more anxiety. And this is about this Lufthansa flight. That's an airline. And this flight was supposed to go from Austin, Texas, all the way to Frankfurt, Germany. And strangely enough, on that flight was Matthew McConaughey's wife. She happened to be on this flight. And when they get close to Washington, D.C., they hear the most annoying thing in the world for me, the thing that I dread more than anything. When over the overhead speakers on the plane, you hear the pilot chime in, and they go, sorry folks, it looks like we'll be flying through some rough weather here. It's going to be real rocky.
And that's when I start looking around to see, does anyone else see this?
Yep, what can we do to stop this from being even worse than it could be? And so the pilot comes on and says, we're going to have about 45 minutes of turbulence on this Lufthansa flight. And all these people are just holding on tight. They're holding on to their chairs on this flight. And
brace.
The plane is plummeting out of the air. The stuff that is on like,
nose down.
No, not nose down, but it dropped really, really big for, I think, 7 seconds. And this thing was just rocking around in the sky. And when I heard about this, I heard that there was about 10 people or 7 people that went to the hospital for being on this flight because the turbulence was so bad. I felt bad for those folks. But then I learned something else about this flight that actually made me feel even worse. And they talked about something else on the plane. There was a dog that was stored below where the pets go. No, it didn't die, thank God. But if you've ever seen where we used to have an animal, I know. We used to. Well, it's alive. The dog's alive, but there was a dog on this thing. They took hours for the owner to figure out what was the status of the animal. The dog was not hurt. But when I heard that was happening, I said, oh my God. If you've never seen what they do when a dog goes on a commercial flight.
It's cargo.
Yeah, it's not what you think it is. You have one side of the plane where they just throw all your suitcases. And the other side of the plane, they have the dogs inside the cages, and in the belly of the plane, that's where your animal is hanging. That's where it stays. And there was a poor dog that was on there as this terrible turbulence.
That was launched into the ceiling?
Just flying around back there. And they called it severe turbulence. And they said he's all right, this poor pup. But that must have been really, really frightening.
A little shaky.
Yeah. Oh, God. Ugh. I would not want to be on that flight. And I don't want to hear 45 minutes of turbulence is on the way.
No, absolutely not.
That's scary stuff.
I haven't flown with Carl before, but I do feel like he's small enough for like a carry.
Yeah, Carl was with me. He just like holding my hand.
Get a little vest for him.
Lady just got a haircut finally. Thank
Oh, yeah.
God.
Oh, and by the way, I'm a drug dealer now.
Yeah, good. Sabrina is my animal drug dealer.
Piper is feeling it. I just walked out, and Piper was like, "What's up, yo?"
Piper's on the kitchen counter like, I'm so high right now, bro.
So stoned.
Piper had to get, like a chunky cat, had to get some medicine from animal drug dealer Sabrina because the vet is coming over in just a bit. It's like a mobile vet that's going to be pulling up outside the house. And she's got some problems that they need to check out, but she is like borderline feral. Like she does not like anybody other than the three of us. She freaks out if anybody's in the house or anybody that she doesn't know is nearby. So is she wobbly right now?
No, she's just chilling. Like she's like, "Hey guys, welcome to my house."
Yeah, but there's 3 extra people in this house right now, and she's still in the kitchen.
Is she really?
Yes.
Okay, that is very out of the
It's
ordinary.
good news though. Good news, man. Drugs are great.
Shows it's working.
You guys want some?
I'll try.
Maybe later.
Why not?
Yeah, a lady got the haircut and then she like pranced around in here, wiggling around like, ooh, give me some butt scratches. Let's go.
She went right over to Forrest, the radon cowboy, and said, "Hey, you look like a sucker. I don't like to get a pet out of here." I'm going to tell you the most brutal story that I've heard in a very, very long time.
I'm hearing a lot of joy in your voice.
Because when I read this, I said, "Are you kidding me?" Imagine being at this wedding. You've all been to weddings, right? Imagine being at this wedding.
Not one of my own.
A woman who died during her wedding rituals. All right, you're at the wedding, everybody's gathered, they're doing the whole thing, and the bride dies in the middle of the ceremony.
I'm sorry.
She dies in the middle of the ceremony.
That guy dodged a bullet.
Okay.
And you know what they did? They said, "Take her out of here, and we have to put her in cold storage until we can find out something to do with this."
Put her
her sister stepped up and married the guy.
Where is this?
Real story.
Where is this?
I swear to
that
God.
doesn't make any sense.
Nobody in the studio believes it. Our friend Moses DeWitt is with us as well. And
this is not in the United
States.
States.
You've heard this happening before?
No, I've heard of the story. I think it was in India, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah. So a woman who died during her wedding rituals was replaced with her sister and ended up marrying the groom instead.
That's so awful.
This is from an Indian media television channel owned by Network 18. The bride's name was Etama, the daughter of a man identified as Janani Rahor. I got to stop with these hard to pronounce words. She was in the process of getting married. She said she felt dizzy and then she fainted. The doctors told her she died of a heart attack. The doctors didn't tell her that. They wouldn't be able to tell her.
Doctors told her that her sister died.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The doctors told her sister that she had died of a heart attack. She was rushed to a hospital nearby. Even as the family mourned her death, they said, we need to do something about this. Her body was reportedly kept in cold storage until the ceremony was over, and then they brought her where she needed to be. But the sister stepped up and married him. That is super weird.
I thought the twist was going to be just that they finished the ceremony and had the party, but the fact that somebody still got married is kind of impressive.
Maybe the sister was the reason all this happened somehow. She's like, secretly, she wanted to get married to the guy.
Arranged marriage, and this is just very reflective of how effed up that is.
That is strange. And we don't know if it's an arranged marriage just because it's in India. I mean, I don't think they all are.
I'm sorry, in what situation would it be like, I'll step up and marry this man?
Different culture over there.
Listen.
You guys want to go with that? Sure.
I think Sabrina
I think
has
it's
a point.
weird.
I think Sabrina has a point, though. Because if this were a marriage between two people who
love each other,
loved each other, they dated, one of them
hit the
courted the other, and then, whatever, and then they went steady or whatever you call it.
Went steady. What is it, in the 60s?
Exactly. Well, this is India. Whatever. They still say that.
All right.
And so if that had happened, I can't imagine like if at my wedding, something had happened to Ashley.
I would have stepped up
and married me.
Yeah, I would have done it for you. I would have done it.
Okay.
Yeah, technically,
well, then
technically, Ashley did die at your wedding, just for the record, because your dad pronounced her dead. During
my dad's speech did imply it was a little odd.
Yeah, he was talking about
he meant well.
A situation that she went through, and
my dad said, I first heard about Ashley when she and Chris got in a car accident. Chris walked away, and Ashley wasn't so lucky. And I was like, she's here, man. Dad, they were married, dude. Come on.
Out of the three speeches, was Dad saying that, then we have your best man who jumps in the pool.
All right, yeah.
And then Celine was like, hey, I'm going to have you on in 2 minutes for the speech that I didn't tell you about.
Yeah, you did good.
Best way to do it.
Thank you. No, I'm truly honored.
All right, I told you about this. Let me pay this off real quick before we hit up a couple of dispatches. There is a Jack Daniels distillery in Tennessee, obviously. And it's a dangerous place right now because I guess there's an out-of-control fungus related to the whiskey that is spreading all through the neighborhood where this distillery is.
Last of Us.
It is very Last of Us, actually. Look this up, Sabrina. It's called Bowdoinia.
You don't have to spell it. I know exactly how to spell it.
Baudoinia. Bowdoinia. If I'm saying that wrong, that doesn't count as a shot. And they said this is something that they noticed way back in the 1870s, and it feeds off the ethanol vapors that come out of the distillery for Jack Daniels.
Oh man, this
right,
fungus is strong.
Yeah, it's like fed by the alcohol.
So, what are you looking for?
Just what it is, what it can do to you.
All right, so, I mean, off the bat, just based on that name, it's a sac fungus.
Mm-hmm. By the way, if you screw up any words in this, it doesn't count, because there might be some tough. Get ready.
See, the thing is, like...
Buzz Decker just cheesed real hard when you said sac fungus.
Distillery fungus, whiskey fungus, also known as, and warehouse fungus.
So what can it do to anybody? Does it say that there? It might not. I guess they're very worried about this. Because it's going all over the neighborhood around this Jack Daniels distillery, and they're trying to figure out how to get rid of it, but they've been battling it forever. And maybe it doesn't. This actually says it's not hazardous to humans, but it damages property. It's a real pain in the ass for them to deal with. All right, let's go over to you. Let's see
it
what
wrecks
these
your
folks are
patio
thinking.
furniture, house siding, and almost any outdoor surface.
Jesus, yeah.
And I've seen trees choked to death. And
really? Holy cow! right, let's go over.
Sounds like something that happens very slow.
It's like the slow.
Like if you chuck a human to
strangulation.
death, you chuck a human to death, it takes like under a minute, but a tree probably takes like a couple weeks.
Here we go. Here is Slabba Dabba, God Mod on the
Happy
Discord,
birthday.
with a dispatch.
What's up, junkies?
Hey.
It's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Sean, our son just got to my house. How you guys doing?
Oh my God, Dylan's there.
Dylan is saying
He's gonna crash in here tonight, so
Tell him to go to work.
Come by, maybe party with us. It's gonna be a good time. Yeah, I might live stream the entire thing on Discord, but love you guys. Have a good weekend.
Hey, happy birthday,
How
man.
did your son end up at Slabba's house?
I have no idea. I don't know what goes on.
Did you know Dylan was coming to town?
No, I had no idea. He didn't text me and tell me any of this.
But we'll text you when he needs $300.
No, he's been working. I know that, but
not this weekend.
Not right now. It's clearly not working at the moment. Let's go over to Myron with the dispatch. Hello?
Hey, Sean.
There you are.
I
just
called
tiny.
last week. I went to the doctor, got a physical in a while, and
went well.
He told me I gotta quit drinking. My liver's not doing that well, so yours is probably gonna be way worse. All right, we'll pop up. Love you guys.
So rude and so true. All
Cheers.
at the same time.
Cheers.
I don't have one.
Oh, you down the whole thing?
Yeah, I took the whole thing. Oh, there's a little bit. That counts as one of my shots right there. There was a
Wait,
little
does
bit in there.
not.
Yeah, there was still a little bit in the bottom, so that counts. Let's hear from our friend Lisa G.
Sean, Sabrina, C-Lane, happy Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
There you go.
I just have to say that the judge in the Murdoch case, I watched the sentencing this morning,
She
and that
gets a shot.
judge was just rock solid. And, you know, he made the comment that it wasn't the Alec that most people knew that did the murders, but maybe it was the monster that came out
Yeah,
when
it
he
was
took
good.
10, 20, 30, 40
Stay left.
pain pills, and he talked about how, you know, he must see his son and his wife at night, and that, you know, it was just very eerie. And apparently the son lost his, or the judge lost his son earlier this year or over the past year. But, you know,
At the
he was
roundabout.
like, you know,
Take
he
the third
basically was
exit.
like, you're guilty, dude. So he got sentenced to life,
Stay
and
left.
hopefully he'll never see the light of day. So hope you have a wonderful and wild weekend. Wiggle, wiggle, pop, pop.
Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate that. You too can join us on the show. What I want to figure out
Stay
is
right.
what Mo thought of the outcome of this trial and what happened with this Alec Smurdoff situation. So what we're going to do is take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get into that, and jury duty will also hear from you. You know you can join us on the show, so why not do it? Try to get up for Dispatch of the Day, which we'll crown before we wrap things up here. Go to thenewsjunkie.com and hit record on your first dispatch right now. All that more coming up next on the News Junkie.
Alexa, play Real Radio 101.1 on iHeartRadio.
Read and Read Attorneys at Law want you to know that they are here for you. They treat their clients like they treat their family and friends. Probably better if you ask their relatives. Whatever you need, you can count on Read and Read to be there every step of the way. When you call them, you speak to your attorney. Visit needread.com. Remember, with Read and Read, it's like having a lawyer in the family. Offices Tampa, not attorney spokesperson.
Drive safe.
When good things go bad, bad things make headlines. This is the News Junkie.
Jury duty in just a moment with our friend Mo DeWitt of the DeWitt Law Firm. And there were so many people tuned in to watch the verdict of that Alex Murdaugh case. Mo, let's just get into this here, right? Were you watching? Did you watch the verdict when it came down?
I mean, I haven't done any work the last 6 months on this trial.
It's been an interesting one, right?
It's fascinating. I mean, I didn't catch all of the trial, but it was a fascinating trial to watch.
C-Lane pointed out something that I do think is really funny where after the guilty verdict comes down the line, the defense tries like this weird Hail Mary thing where they go, motion to dismiss the verdict, and you're like, is that ever successful, or is that just like a stupid thing they have to do?
It's to preserve the record. Basically, you have to re-raise your motion, or basically, term escapes me, but like a direct verdict.
Gotcha.
Notwithstanding.
If you didn't do that, though, you would hurt your appeals process?
Yeah, exactly. So that's why they're doing it. They've raised those motions before. You just have to re-raise them after the verdict.
What will happen now, because I don't know if you caught on to this, but at least one network, Court TV and possibly others, when they were showing a reaction shot of Alex Murdaugh when he was found guilty, they swooped the camera mic and you can see the jury. And I'm like, oh my God. It's a super important thing. I would think like the most important thing to keep the jury anonymous if they want to be that way.
Yeah.
Can they do anything about that?
Probably not. I mean, the judge basically said, at the end of this, if somebody approaches you, you don't want to be approached. If somebody's harassing you, let me know. I'll take care of it, type of deal. So he's going to do what he can to try to protect the jurors.
Whoa. When the judge says, let me know, I'm sure he didn't give the jurors a cell phone. They call
text me.
The clerk, or what do you
hey, they probably have the information for Miss Clerk, so they can reach out to Miss Clerk.
Man, I just thought that was a bit mistaken.
Yeah.
Normally, when there's cameras in the courtroom, we just have like the pool feed so that we would never have that problem. Right. You have cameras pointed in directions that aren't going to ever capture the jury.
Is it possible that that was the pool feed?
I don't know. I thought that they wouldn't allow outside cameras just hanging out in the courtroom.
I mean, the camera that I saw when I was watching it, the camera was clearly one that was mounted and just kind of was following Alec Murdaugh as he was led out of the courtroom, and just went right in front of where the jury box was, and they weren't supposed to shoot that.
Man.
So, I mean, I think is the pool feed the one that's
it's the one that they sent out to all the networks, so each network can then use the cameras as they wish, and they can have their own kind of custom coverage of the event. But the thing that stuck out to me was, I know people go, oh, big deal, the guy's in behind bars for the rest of his life, but it is kind of a big deal. This guy, the whole thing is like he's connected and powerful, and the guy was hiring a hitman to kill him, and he's maybe possibly killed this maid that was at the house. There's a lot of bad stuff going on here. If I'm a juror that puts him behind bars for 30 years to the rest of his life, I don't want him to know exactly who I am. I don't want him to know more information about me.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine a lot of the jurors probably will come out and speak to the media, but certainly they have the right not to, so that is kind of the issue there of why they want to protect it. So, but yeah, it's certainly a salacious story. I mean,
Stay back,
then
turn
back. That was so big, everybody watching that. And then Sealand and I were both mad because when they read the verdict, they didn't do it in the traditional way where they go, in the case of the state of South Carolina versus
there was no
Alex
we the
Murdaugh.
jury.
Yeah,
right.
we the jury find the defendant, Alex Murdaugh, guilty. And you're like, wow, that was it.
Yeah.
You don't have that. They just read this thing, and it was awkward. It didn't have that big punch moment.
And it came so quickly, too. I don't think anyone expected a verdict.
45 minutes.
I think it was 3 hours,
no,
wasn't it?
but 45 minutes.
Oh, it took
they
them
deliberated.
it took them to switch.
That's what does your brain tell you when something comes back within 3 hours?
Well, I think it really depends case by case. In this case, the defense was really hoping for some holdouts, possibly a hung jury, or just have a few holdouts where they just couldn't get a guilty verdict. Mm-hmm. So, in this case, a verdict that quickly is scary.
Yeah.
And I don't. When they got called back into the courtroom initially, I don't know if they even. Sometimes you get called back if there's jury questions or things like that. But certainly, once they knew there was a verdict that quickly, I'm sure both sides were nervous, frankly, because you try to predict these things, but I think we saw the exact opposite in O.J.
This
Simpson.
is where
it was
it
pretty
ends.
quick, but it was obviously a not guilty verdict. So it just makes you nervous, both sides. But that's really not good for the defense, knowing now that obviously they lost, and they lost it that quickly. And it didn't take much convincing to convince the people who are the holdouts, 45 minutes, that, hey, this guy's
because that's crazy. The juror who talked on Good Morning America said when we went into the room, there was 2 not guilty, 1 not sure, and 9, I think they said, or whatever, guilty.
That does make 12.
And so when I heard that, I'm like, they convinced 2 not guilty people to go with guilty within that short span of time. That's pretty surprising to me. And you might have jurors, I'm sure you have to think about this as an attorney, Mo. You might have jurors who are just done with this. Like,
Oh, I'm
they
sure.
want to
I
get
mean,
out of there.
My guess, if I had to guess, what happened is, they debated for about 45 minutes, maybe about the 30-minute mark. Somebody came in and said, "Hey, you guys want dinner?" They said, "Yeah, bring us dinner." They ate their dinner. They're like, "All right, we got a verdict. Let's get out of here.
we're
We've
ready
been
to
here for
go."
6 weeks. I want my free meal. I'm going home."
Actually, they turned down dinner.
Did they?
Somebody wanted to go, what's your meal order? And they were like, we're wrapping it up right
We
now.
want to leave.
And in a case like this,
now.
one thing that always surprises me is how people react to this. I saw somebody when they said, we have a verdict in. Less than 3 hours, we got a verdict in. And they said, oh, it's a hung jury. And I go, well, that's not how it works.
No.
If you come back to the judge and say, we're a hung jury after 3 hours, the judge is going to go, get back to work.
Yes. They'll send it back to deliberate some more on that.
Get back in there. Seelade, what do we have on the list? Because I know we had some questions we really wanted to ask.
I definitely know of one of them, and that's the Lady Gaga case.
What was happening? Oh, yeah. That's really interesting, actually. Did you see this story, Mo, where Lady Gaga, somebody kidnapped her dog and was like holding it for ransom? And she had, was it one of those bulldogs? Is that what it was?
The French bulldog.
French bulldog that people were stealing a lot at that time. And so this person takes the dog, and Lady Gaga goes, hey, I have a reward for the safe return of my dog, no questions asked.
$500,000.
500, put yourself on the list. $500,000.
Oh, you missed it, Sean.
Oh, I flubbed during a library. $500,000 for the safe return of my dog, no questions asked. And now she's refusing to pay out because the woman who turned in the dog is also involved in the stealing of the dog. When Seelane said, when somebody says that, when you say, like, here's a reward for this, and no questions asked, are you legally obligated to fulfill that as a contract?
I mean, it is an oral contract. Obviously, it depends on the state and what their state laws are. And
isn't it kind of an oral contract with everybody?
It is, basically, if somebody accepts that contract. Now, of course, the smart thing would be, put some terms and conditions on it and say, yeah, if you're the one who stole the dog, I'm not going to pay you.
Right.
But, at the time, her intention probably was just to get her dog back.
Of course.
She was probably willing to pay whatever for the dog. So that probably wasn't her intention. But yeah, typically that's going to be an oral contract unless, there are some state laws where that bar certain oral contracts in certain cases, which we call like the statute of frauds and things like that. Typically you can't have oral contracts for real estate. Some states limit it if it's over a certain amount, but in general, it will be considered an oral contract.
What's your gut tell you? You think that the woman who was involved in the stealing of the dog will actually get the access
They'll
to the
settle.
Yeah.
Because
really?
I would be so
despite being
pissed off.
involved in the crime.
Wouldn't you be pissed off, Sabrina, if somebody stole your dog and then you had to pay them to get your dog back?
Don't offer a reward.
I mean, but she also
Yeah, but you
gave...
don't expect that it's going to be that person.
We'll say, if you're, but that's the whole point of the reward. They wanted the person who had the dog, had information. Most likely, if you have information, you're going to be close to the person who either did it or you're going to be the person who did it because she wanted her dog back.
Can you sue the person that stole your dog and try to get the $500,000 back from them?
You could countersue for emotional distress or conversion
So
or
crazy.
all sorts of stuff. But I would guess what will happen is, the
That's
person who stole
screwy,
the
man.
dog
Yeah, I'd be pissed.
isn't going to want to go to trial because there's going to be unclean hands defense, essentially. And they're going to be worried that a jury's going to say, I'm not going to award you any money because you're a scumbag and stole the dog.
Right.
So they'll settle it out of court and make it go away, basically.
Yeah. Well, Seelade, what else do we have on the list?
Let's see. DeWitt questions here. At what point did aggravated battery become attempted murder? And that question stems from the high school student who attacked their teacher for taking the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
And there's this video of this high school student just beating the crap out of this teacher. And the child has special needs, but is like 6'6", 270 pounds. And at what point, as they're like beating up this teacher, what point does it change from aggravated battery, which they said it is, to becoming attempted murder?
I mean, I think it really depends on the force and the damage that they cause. And, attempted, you're usually saying there's some sort of an intent there. But in a case like this, I think the intent has to be derived from the actual force that they're using. Obviously, if they one punch in the shoulder may be a battery, but that's not going to have any intent to murder somebody. Repeated, blows to the head.
There were
repeated
that was
blows to the
happening.
head. And also, when we discussed this, we were kind of going on the hypothetical that this person was not like special needs of sound
I don't think
and
it
mind.
was hypothetical. I think they did determine
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
that he is
They said that he's in ESE classes or whatever.
Yeah, no, I'm saying when we were asking this question, when we were kind of pondering this, I was saying hypothetically, if this person was not special needs and
Right.
they were of sound, mind and body, however you say that, then the charges would be more formal, or they would be easier to stick on than the defense being, well,
There's something
child
to
has
hide
special
behind.
needs. Yeah, exactly.
Of course. Yeah, it makes it a little more difficult. All right, let's throw out some fireworks here, Moses, because I saw the story making the rounds. It's getting people talking all over every single social media
Facebook,
platform. You know how that goes.
Instagram, Twitter,
all of
y'all see
those.
this?
And they said Tennessee is now the first state in 2023 to restrict drag performances to be for adults only. And the bill says any performance that features topless dancers, go-go dancers, which I haven't heard that used in a while, exotic dancers, strippers, male or female impersonators who provide entertainment that appeals to a prurient interest or similar entertainers, and that would include, they believe, these drag performances. And so they're going to make it so you can only do these in venues where it's adults only. Can you do that? Can you determine with a law that this method of entertainment we are now making only accessible by adults?
Well, I mean, we've seen that with other, areas of entertainment before, and certainly, obviously, there's restrictions on things like alcohol and cigarettes and tobacco.
True.
Movies.
So, I'm sure it'll be, a constitutional freedom of speech challenge, freedom of expression challenge, which, we saw before with, a lot of strip clubs, even here in Central Florida. There's a famous federal case that Rachel's was involved in. And there's, I know the judge who wrote the opinion, and he's a very bright guy.
I thought you were going to say, I know the Rachels that did.
I mean, I do. I can tell you that much.
Sabrina's been there.
But there was a dispute whether, because one of the restrictions on the strip club ordinance, I don't know if it's the same now as it was then, but that the dancers couldn't touch themselves, even touch their own arms and things like that while they were dancing. And I believe there's a federal court opinion that says, no, that's protected constitutional speech under freedom of expression.
That's interesting.
So that is permitted. So there's going to have to be some sort of challenge there, and they're going to have to determine whether that's protected speech or not.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting case. And
Imagine if they ruled that the dancers indeed could not touch themselves.
They gotta go out
there
there
would be some odd dancing
like a
going
starfish. You got your arms straight out, your legs out. This is the first state to do this. I think other states are going to end up doing this because this is a big culture war thing with all the drag
the
stuff.
important stuff, right?
Yeah, the drag stuff that's going on.
Forget poverty.
And this is something that gets people fired up, so they toss it forward. But I want to see that fought up to the Supreme Court. I want to see where that goes.
I'm sure it will be. I'm sure someone will pick it up and fight the case.
Well, the final legal thing before we just talk about normal things.
Normal nonsense?
Yeah, normal nonsense is the best part of having you here. We're going to do that in a bit. But we see this case now being brought up by the Supreme Court. There's a lot of people listening right now that have student loan debt, and they're like, hey, they promised they were canceling my student loan debt. And now it's being challenged whether the president has the authority to even do this. And it sounds like the Supreme Court is leaning toward the direction because it's a right-wing majority or a conservative majority in the Supreme Court right now that they're going to shoot down Biden's power to do this. Is there any recourse for anybody who was sitting there expecting that they were going to get this?
I mean, if the Supreme Court rules that's invalid, it's invalid. So there's not a whole lot you can do at that point.
Oh, somebody's going to be pissed.
I'm sure that a lot of people will be.
There's just no way around it, I don't think. You got a whole crew
Here we
with
go.
you today, Moses. Your
know.
crew is getting
Buzz
trying to build
is
up the
here.
entourage. You got John Bustecker with you. We got the Radon Cowboy, of course. Forrest, who's breaking everything in the studio, as
What did he
always.
break?
You know how he is. He touches something, and
it turns into gold, sweet man.
I would get mad, but his hair is so beautiful. It's just
He never has to wear a hat.
luxurious. Busdecker's got a great head of hair, too. All of you. Moses, too. I hate all of you.
condition, you know?
I'm leaving. I'm out of here. All right, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to hear from you and...
And you got some shots to catch up on.
Oh, do I? How many do I have on the list right now?
I'm looking at 12 here.
What, 12? I can't do 12.
Sorry, that's what the
You've seen me when I do 12.
computer says.
You can't. It's the computer.
Computer.
Ceiling.
All right.
Dear computer.
We're going to figure that out, too. And we'll be back with that plus your dispatches coming up next on the News Junkie.
Reed and Reed Attorneys at Law want you to know that they are here for you. They treat their clients like they treat their family and friends. Probably better if you ask their relatives. Whatever you need, you can count on Reed and Reed to be there every step of the way. When you call them, you speak to your attorney. visit needread.com. Remember, with Read and Read, it's like having a lawyer in the family. Offices Tampa, non-attorney spokesperson.
Documenting and contributing to the decline in American culture. This is the News Junkie.
You know, Moses, I didn't peg you for a cowboy, but I guess I can picture it now, you know? Like the cowboy hat.
Wait. Didn't you go to Garth Brooks with him?
Yeah, but that's like fake cowboy.
Sean showed up for like 5 minutes.
No, I was there the whole time. I was singing along. Oh man, we had the once you live that club level life, once you live that watch a concert in a suite life, there's no going back. You can't turn around.
For concerts, I'll disagree because
because you had front row seats.
Yeah, well, that's better. I have done the front row seat thing, and that's always fun. But there have been concerts, namely Mumford & Sons, where some listeners invited me to hang out in their suite. And,
I think I went to that suite for like 2 seconds.
And watch Mumford & Sons. Don't remember the concert at all.
Oh, no. That does tend to happen.
There was a spread of gin and tonics there.
We had all kinds of food in there. Just like putting chicken fingers in my pocket.
Appreciate it.
He said he specifically did not want you to go.
Yeah,
so
I had a feeling.
I haven't brought it up.
This just got awkward.
No problem. Because him and I are going to Beyonce together.
Okay, let's get into this.
Let's not. We have a segment today.
Let's get. So Sabrina was struggling.
Okay, but if I share this information, I want to start off with I'm going to be transparent with you guys. I don't need you to drill me into the ground because things have already been set into motion.
I'll try. I'll do the best that I can.
Then I'm not going to give the full spectrum.
Well, everybody already knows that you are struggling like millions of other Americans to try to use Ticketmaster's services to do anything, but in this case, to go see your favorite performer, Beyonce. And there were so many people that wanted tickets. You explained to us the way to get them, and it was the most convoluted thing of Group A, Group B, Group C, Tier 1, Tier 2, fan club,
City
no
card,
fan club.
MasterCard.
Yeah, I got the city card.
It's the first time I've asked my mom to use her credit card in 15 years.
It was the most complicated thing, and then you were bumped onto standby, so you couldn't get your tickets. You were just trying to throw money at somebody.
The group that the Bay group, Bay's Little Lemonades, we call ourselves. We have been to 4 or 5 concerts together,
right?
And all of us had already come to peace with the fact that we were going to have to wait till they were on general sale or
like a
resold.
StubHub or something situation.
And then I go down for a nap one Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago, and all of a sudden I get a notification. It's like you're on the list. You're on right now. Here's your code. My Bayhive code had come through. And so I clicked the link just for S's and giggles. And usually, because I saw this with the Adele concert, it's like you're in the queue. There are 10,000 people in front of you.
My God.
I get in the queue and it says there were 8 people in front of me.
What?
Yes.
Was it at a weird time or something?
Yes.
Okay, that's
So I get in and then I'm feverishly texting the entire group. And I'm like, all right, am I doing this right now? I'm going to Atlanta. This is the only thing that we have. Blah, blah, blah.
So this was a good trip then, because you're going to go to Atlanta.
So we all decided that, and I'd gotten my 4 seats in a great row that is handicap accessible.
How close to the stage are you?
Very close.
See, like, any guesses on how much you spent on these?
It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Per ticket, what do you think, Celia?
So I got 4 tickets for a clip.
All right, 4 tickets. Each ticket costs how much do you think?
$265.
Moses, what do you think? What do you think per ticket?
I've never paid that for me. But go ahead.
I was going to go higher, so.
Yeah, you should.
I was going to go like 450, but.
450.
It's decent.
That's so much for just like the.
Is it though?
Yes, it's a lot of money.
Concerts have gotten expensive.
That's crazy.
Very. What did you pay for your concerts? Billy Joel.
$25 or something.
Oh, Billy Joel, front row.
No, I paid a lot for that.
How much?
That was like $1,000. That was
for each?
No, 500 pesos or something. I don't remember. It was a while ago. All right, so I think 4 you're gonna give, or just one?
This is one ticket. All 4 were the same price.
Okay.
This is before fees. By the way, service fee was $100.
No, I want to know after. I want to know the total cost.
Total cost, all 4 at the same time.
No. Total cost for one ticket.
For one ticket was
Oh my God.
whatever, dude.
You could get Tesla Auto Drive for like 3 months for that. So come on. $550
for great seats. Now here's the thing. All of a sudden, my little sister gets a notification from the Tampa show.
Yeah, we already got tickets.
So I already had tickets. But I was like, oh, the sister. Sissy bonding.
Okay. Sissy bonding.
So I ended up getting. I ended up getting 2 more tickets.
To Atlanta?
No, to Tampa.
Okay, so you're going to Tampa and Atlanta now.
Correct.
You paid $550 for those two?
I paid $500.
Oh my!
Oh, you got $50 off.
Now riddle me this.
You paid $1,000.
Now riddle me this. 2 of the tickets for Atlanta are now for sale. So I'm thinking I'll be able to flip the tickets, pay for Atlanta, maybe a little bit of Tampa.
You're gonna charge $1,000 per ticket to even
Go on
out your money?
Ticketmaster right now.
Are they really going for that?
The tickets in my section are going for $1,400 a pop.
Well, yeah. If you sell that, you can make it all work out. But right
Exactly.
now,
So it looks like I did a little bit of investing. Thank you very much.
oh my God!
Okay, you guys are. This is why I didn't want to share with you.
Well, how?
I did it 3 weeks ago.
Well, I forgot about it. You
Yeah.
didn't say anything else about the
That's
tickets.
because I knew it was you're gonna make me feel bad about it.
Moses, you never paid $550 for a concert?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Thank you, Moses.
That sounds like a yes.
Now what it's really gonna help is
Oh,
that
damn, that Garth Brooks booth was a whole lot more than that, huh?
Moses
You
is
ain't
gonna
lying.
fly me to Atlanta.
Mo's gonna fly you on his Mo's
Yeah,
plane
that's
to
what
Atlanta?
we just talked about.
I don't know if he agreed to that.
He hasn't, but I think if I do it on the air, he has no
Peer pressure now. Yeah.
That's a good
that'll
idea.
save me a whole bunch of money.
Oh,
I'll also have
God.
to sleep on the
Does
plane.
Moses
Is that
get
okay?
one of the Beyonce tickets?
Of course he does.
Wow, now we're talking.
We just
Mo-
need a wheelchair for you.
Mo is more a fan. You probably know some Beyonce when you got it. But
Yeah.
what I've learned over the years is Mo knows like 90s and 2000s rap better than I would
All
put him
day.
up against anybody.
Oh, we're going to
I would put-
Wu-Tang and Nas. They just announced their new tour.
Tampa.
All day.
That sounds expensive too.
Oh, no.
I feel like all concerts have gotten super expensive.
Except for just okay. What's happening?
Oh, no, next year, $500 a ticket.
I sent a lot of complaints personally about the price of that.
Yeah.
Didn't get a response from you.
No, I ignore those.
Yeah.
Right into the spam folder. Sorry about that. God, that's so much money for a concert. How much was John Mayer that you were trying to go to see that?
Nah, yeah, this is how he dances. It was just as much, was it not?
There were some of the front row packages. They had like VIP packages where you're guaranteed to get front row seats and you get a bunch of swag with it. And those were in the thousands.
Jeez.
I was just trying to get like in the bowl.
Is this the
How
new
much was the
normal
bowl?
for concerts? Like,
260 and 300 maybe.
people don't have this kind of money. So many people.
Yeah, that's why I
never
put it on
get
a credit card.
I know, but that God.
Now I get points.
How
for
rich
an
is
insulated
Beyonce
water
gonna
bottle.
be after all of this?
So rich.
She's down to like
Oh
3
my
private
God.
islands now.
I
So-
can't even imagine.
Any listeners in Atlanta, holla at me.
Oh my
I got 2
God.
tickets with your name on it.
All right, what's on the sheet for me? We did this bet today that we said if we mispronounce any words, we have to take a shot for each one.
I mean,
I've-
this
I've
is
paid
from
mine off
earlier.
already.
I don't know what you have.
I-
You didn't pay anything off.
I had 2 already, so I paid off the 2 that I owed before, but I think
Did
I
I
have
not
more.
just pour you one?
Yeah, but
You
I
took it.
I think I have more. No. Earlier I owed 2, and I drank those 2, and now I think I've got more. What do you have on the list, Sue?
I have 2 more.
Oh God,
I had 2, so.
So this counts as 2. This is full. Yeah. This is
Okay,
the
you don't
whole
have to
thing.
do the whole thing. Just do half.
I-
He doesn't
but
know
I owed
how
2.
to put down a shot glass with liquor still inside it.
No, it feels weird. What kind of move is that?
Celine has 3 for
You
Monday.
guys over there just taking sips of your shots? Some
Yeah,
a bunch
we're
of pussies.
adults.
No, that's the thing. We're adults. We're allowed to do this stuff now. All right, here we go.
What, drink on the job?
Okay, I'm good.
He's going to throw
You
up
gotta
on
pay
his
up.
laptop.
You got to pay up now.
How many did you have for me?
For you, I had 3, but you've done at least one of them.
All right, so I have 1 more.
All right. Okay. Well, this is a bad idea. All of this. Okay, we're gonna get some of your dispatches.
You know,
Your idea.
When you brought it up at the top of the show, you made it sound like you thought it was going to be a lot worse.
It's helping me right now because the mobile vet is here and Junkie Cat is in the mobile vet.
So drugged out,
but still did not want to get into the cage to be brought from the front door to the van that they had, and was causing some problems. So I don't know what's happening. So this will numb that a little bit while we go to some of these dispatches, and we'll see what you got. Here's Heather from California. You too can leave a dispatch. Go to thenewsjunkie.com. Hit record on your first dispatch right now.
Hey, junkies.
Hey.
Sabrina's talking about her Beyonce tickets. Funny enough, me and some other folks that tried to get Taylor Swift tickets just got an email this morning from Ticketmaster saying we have the chance to get 2 tickets for the show we were trying. So I'm going to put in my monies and see what comes up. Fingers crossed. Thanks.
What did you say the service charges from Ticketmaster were on the Beyonce tickets?
$95 each.
God
it was
almighty.
insane.
That is ridiculous. That part is like inexcusable. The rest of it is kind of free market. If people are going to pay that much for the tickets, I guess that's what they cost, right? Like if there's such a demand for people to want to see this performance and it's important to them, okay, fine. But the idea that Ticketmaster then goes, we're going to gobble up $100 worth of this, like a quarter of the ticket price. We're going to also take a little bit of money. God, that one makes me mad. All right, let's see here. We got some more people chiming in. Here is Swilly talking about those lizards. What were they called, Sealand?
Jesus Christ lizards.
The Jesus Christ lizards that we're supposed to stay away from right now.
Hey, everybody. Happy today.
Hey.
So a little bit of herpetologist knowledge on the basilisk lizards. They are agamids, so they're in the same family as iguanas.
That's what I thought.
They are invasive and they are big problems. But the way that they run on the water,
leave them alone.
Is the joints in their legs allow them to spin their little feet, and the scales on the bottom of their feet utilize surface tension. So if you watch them in real slow motion, it's almost like their legs are going in a circle.
It is cool.
But the fringes on their feet are what allow them to maintain surface tension and run across the water.
Thank you,
What?
Swilly.
I don't understand what's happening.
He's giving us lizard knowledge. I don't know if we needed it necessarily, but
I do think the idea of the lizard running so fast that it looks like the feet are going in a circle, makes me think of like a cartoon. You know, when you run it, like just feet going in a circle.
Moses, I have wanted to ask you this question for like.
You have wanted him for.
No, I'm not going to. This is going to be a real weird segment. Moses, I'm in love with you.
I suspected it all along.
You knew it. I was getting off too many hints.
I would think after all these years and how much he's paid, you should love him.
Why? Not because of him paying.
And being in love with him.
No, Mo's my friend. I've known Mo for longer than either of you.
Those arm rubs were a little suspect.
Especially where your arm is located.
I get that way on ecstasy, Moses. I'm sorry. No, he wasn't doing anything like that. That's me. I'm just screwing around. But I did have a question for you. Okay,
Yes, sir.
You are Pilot Mo, and
Some days.
You have this beautiful plane. And we were talking the other day about when you're just flying around in the air. And I said, if you want to, can you just go like, just
Could you go upside down?
Can you do like
Probably
a loop-de-loop if you want to?
I mean, you can, as long as you're not breaking any laws as far as airspace is concerned, and you're giving, appropriate transmissions as to what you're doing. Like, there's things that you practice, and most of the practice area here is over out above Lake Apopka.
Okay.
And like you'll do steep turns where basically you crank the plane to one way and you do a loop-de-loop one way, and then you crank it back the other way.
So you just go.
But it has to be in the practice space.
Well, there's airspace restrictions, right? So you can only do certain things in certain areas. You have to be a certain height depending where you are.
What about the middle of the ocean?
It's
You can
probably
do whatever you want?
probably open airspace there depending where you are. Yeah.
See, because I was wondering, like, you go, Moses DeWitt to base, permission to do 2 loop-de-loops, and then
this isn't a game of capture the flag.
Oh my God, that would be fantastic. You immediately when you get a car, you want to drive fast. When you get a plane, I feel like you want to do a loop-de-loop. I feel like that's an important part of the process.
Oh yeah, Loveless used to do a lot of loop-de-loops.
Loveless seems like it would.
Oh, you remember that guy that stole the plane in Alaska?
Yeah.
The Alaska Air guy that stole the plane and was just flying around, and then he goes, I think I'm gonna do a couple loop-de-loops here, then take it down to the side of the mountain.
He was eerily calm.
He was.
Yes.
That was unbelievable.
He had a
audio.
plan.
That's like it was like talking to that woman last week who was eerily calm about loving that murderer. It's that psycho vibe you get.
We were thinking about bringing her back on each week when you came on, Moses, just to get the
I
woman
do have
who's
a lot more questions.
in love
What
with
was her follow-up?
Serial killer. Oh, she said, Sabrina said, I would like to follow up with this lady who we talked to last week during jury duty, and she was in love with this Brian, whatever his name is, the one who's suspected in the Idaho murder. Yeah, whatever it is.
Colbert.
Yeah, I think that's it. He's suspected of killing 4 people, and I stop in her head.
Stop it.
And she said she was in love with him, and she said all this stuff, and she was very, very intense on the phone. And Sabrina goes, "Can you do a 2-week follow-up?" And she responded, and she goes, "By the way, I will do a follow-up with you in 2 weeks if you're interested. You can ask me what it's like to be a psychopath." And I said, "Oh, okay, all right."
That's the first
Do you think
question.
she's just playing it up? No.
I'm
sincere.
I'm getting real vibes off.
I don't think that she would murder anybody, but I do think that she would follow up.
She told us that she worked for a coroner, and then she was able to eat right after she saw her first dead body. And it's like, just the idea that you're saying.
Excuse me, coming from the guy who can eat beefaroni while watching One Man, One Ice Pick.
It's all a little
Can you
weird.
not?
Yeah, I probably could if I wanted to. I don't know if I will. Mo, you got more time for it?
I'm not sure after this conversation.
You never are. Each week when you come here, you question
Mo, out of the 3 of us, who can commit murder?
I don't know, Fowler. I mean, not the 3 of you here, but Fowler kind of creeps me out. I know
Okay,
he's not here.
you have to choose one of us.
Fowler for sure.
Let's still go Fowler.
Seems a little murdery. I agree.
That is avoiding the question,
Yeah,
man.
but he's not a good answer. Still.
I mean, why would you accuse someone of murder while you're in the room with them?
That's true. Yeah. That's the smart move on your part. All right, when we come back, we'll get to more of you and what you have on your mind, plus something on your phone that could be giving a whole lot more information away than you know it is. It's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Reed and Reed Attorneys at Law want you to know that they are here for you. They treat their clients like they treat their family and friends. Probably better if you ask their relatives. Whatever you need, you can count on Reed and Reed to be there every step of the way. When you call them, you speak to your attorney. Visit needreed.com. Remember, with Reed and Reed, it's like having a lawyer in the family. Office is Tampa, not attorney spokesperson.
On the bright side, we're not dead. Yet. You're listening to the News Junkie.
What comes next? Probably pigs in the sky, if I had to guess.
Can't believe Sealand screwed that up.
Wow.
Just want to apologize to everybody for that.
It was me.
Really, just unacceptable behavior. But
It was after that sweet live read of mine that I was like, I'm done for this week.
Oh, I've been there. I've been there. Remember
That mortgageguydawn.com is the best.
the one Mills Air spot that I did where Sealand and I started fighting in the middle of it was...
Nothing is worse than not having a dump button next to me because I would have restarted a long time ago.
Oh, it's always
Here we
something.
go.
There we go. All right, we're going to go do some more of your dispatches in just a second here. Don't forget, we did announce earlier that the 4th annual Ultimate Pinewood Derby 4 is going to be Saturday, April 8th at Tuffy's in Sanford, sponsored by JustCallMo.com.
Thanks, Mo.
We agreed to sponsor
You
this
did.
nonsense?
Yeah, we did behind your back. We did like an end-around situation. This is perfect for you.
You'll get the bill.
Are you going to want to field a team, a Just Call Mo team?
I feel like we need a Just Call Mo team.
I think you do. I think
Now,
that would be good.
do you find yourself to be more of a rules or no rules kind of guy?
I don't know.
You're not in the courtroom. Remember,
Consider
Maybe we just go
this.
crazy, go no rules.
Okay. Now you're
What's your policy on rocketing?
we allow.
we're in.
Okay.
We allow. Yeah. It's been,
Say no more.
It's been done before, and it's a good time every time somebody puts a rock.
Bring a helmet.
So we got the
Not insurance yet.
We don't worry about that. Don't talk
Just
about that.
waivers.
We use our sponsors.
And just for the record, we have before we've done other events. When we did Just Okay 2, I think we were told that we needed insurance before the event, and I mean the day of the event, like 4 hours before, and we somehow finagled our way through getting insurance for like fire breathers and sword swallowers and all of that stuff.
Wasn't that easy?
It was a whole mess. All this stuff is a mess, but
I
this
think
won't be.
my favorite part fire breathers after they were already like had stuff on fire, and they were like, "Listen, you're about to set off the sprinkler system, and this venue is not only connected to the venue behind it, but also to Hamburger Mary's,
right,
and to all those restaurants. So if the sprinklers would have gone off there, they would have gone off in all those different places, and we would have made the news.
We would have.
We would
They
have
never
totally
forgot
made
it.
the news.
We could do it again, though.
I'll try.
Oh, no, no.
Get back.
Give it a shot.
So don't forget, JustCallMo.com presents the Ultimate Pinewood Derby 4. And if you want to get your team pass, you can do that at realradio.fm/derby, April 8th at Tuffy's in Sanford. It's in the beer garden area, so it's perfect. There's food, there's drinks. For spectators,
Good food, too.
it's free for you to come out. If you just want to watch what's going on, come out on that day. Again, Saturday, April 8th at Tuffy's in Sanford. You come out and you can watch all this stuff with your family, have fun, have some drinks, have some food. But if you want to participate, you want to get cash prizes, you want to get a shot at the trophy, and you want to meet Moses, you have to be on one of the teams. He will not talk to any non-team people at the event. He's very, very particular about this, and I don't blame him, honestly. Because non-team people are kind of gross, if we're honest.
Oh, stop it. People are not going to show up.
Oh, they'll, no matter what. Hopefully.
You play that disclaimer right now with the words and the hosts.
No. We play that once an hour.
Okay.
And
Hey,
then
welcome to the club, Moses. Sean loves to throw people under the bus as it's happening.
That's one of my main skills.
Surprise bus.
Yeah, it's ratting people out and throwing people under the bus are my two main skills.
You've done well with those.
Yeah. I try to get better every year.
And mine is drugs for cats.
Yeah, and that worked out so, at least so far.
Another shot right now.
No, I didn't mess that up, did I? That's a technicality.
Big old dang on.
I didn't big old dang on it. I got through it.
No, please. The two of you should spend the next couple minutes arguing over whether or not you big old dangled it.
Just wait till Monday, my friend.
I'll be fine.
Yeah. Monday you're riding solo.
Better not wear sneakers.
Yeah. All right, go get your tickets. RealRadio.fm/derby. It again is Saturday, April 8th at Tuffy's.
It's not the alcohol. It's the me just being done with the week.
Yeah,
Don't you think?
It's been a 4-day week, so it's been really grueling.
The News Junkie is on. The three best friends you never knew you had, running through the most viral stories of the day. The News Junkie Sean Wasson with Sabrina and Seeley.
It is Thursday, March 2nd, 2023. Lots to get to today from the dirtiest documentary, The Verdict Watch, in the Alex Murdaugh case, and a dinosaur was found in an Arkansas Walmart. Plus your calls, dispatches, emails, texts, and more. Hey there, Sabrina.
Hello.
Hello, Seeley.
How we doing?
And hello to you. You can join us on the show today. All you need to do is download the app, go to thenewsjunkie.com, and get all the links, and send your first dispatch today. You can also watch the show Facebook, YouTube, and twitch.tv/thenewsjunkie. Your message is rolling right into the studio in real time. How's everybody doing on a Thursday?
Running around like my chicken. What?
What?
Running around like my chicken.
Which is...
I didn't even know you had a chicken.
Yeah,
Wow.
well, because it sucks at running
You know
around.
what? You have to keep it together because you know C-Lane and I are falling apart.
Yeah, right before we started, Sean yawns and almost passes out.
I almost passed out from yawning. I don't know what that means.
C-Lane informs us that his doctor has him on new medication and double what he was taking before, so he says, I might pass out. And at that point, I almost threw up on myself.
Yeah,
That'd be a great opening.
This could be the stream where we all just fall down. And
Get best up ready.
Yeah, just all quiet in the studio until you hear like a Van Halen song or something. That's what is going to
They
happen.
go to the stream and we're just flat out Family Guy scene.
I was just sitting here and I was like, the biggest yawn in the world hit me.
That was a gigantic old man.
It was a real old man yawn. And then I got a little starry-eyed for a second. I was like, whoa, what's happening here? All right, let's put our ears to the ground, our fingers on the pulse, and let's see what's happening in this great big wide world of ours. We go to our friends over at NASA and SpaceX, and they are engaging in the sport of space stuff. And they said, let's go with this thing. They had some astronauts headed up to the space station. It was a successful launch.
It was like the middle of the night, right?
Yeah. Makes it cool to watch. They fire up everything. So powerful. after midnight.
Oh man, I wish I would have.
You would have seen this thing. You could have seen this thing from most spots in Florida, I would guess. So there they go up to the International Space Station. A beautiful and successful launch. Much healthier people on that than in the studio.
Oh yeah. When you were growing up in like Palm Beach, did you see the launches from like that far south?
You know, my dad used to every once in a while go, they're doing a space launch at Kennedy Space Center. Let's go outside and watch it. And he'd go, it's right over there. And he'd like point in the direction where it was. And we'd be watching on TV until right when it was about to launch. We'd go out of the front yard in the acreage, stare up in the sky, and I would see like the tiniest blip of nothingness.
He puts his arm around you, that's it, son.
You see that?
That's the American dream.
I'm like, can we get a little closer, maybe?
Listen, I grew up in Orlando, you know, and we would go out, and we weren't the only ones, too. We would see the neighbors go outside, we were, you know, in our little cul-de-sac of Peppermill, and just go out and try to look.
Yeah.
And same thing you said. We were watching it on TV until like about a 3, 2, and then we go outside. And I thought what I saw was small, so what you saw had
was
to be
even teenier.
Really, really teeny
It
tiny.
could have been a bug or something. It was a tiny little thing, and then I'd go, we should watch this on TV instead.
There was one year, Okeechobee, that I think that we were leaving, and it was before everyone was supposed to leave because we were responsible and going to be on the show the next day.
Right.
And then we could see the rocket launch on the way out.
No,
I'm like, is my acid kicking in?
It was.
Stay right.
You
You're taking acid that
You took acid before you were driving home?
No.
That's her responsible.
You
so
guys,
responsible.
it was
What happens when you let loose?
No, it was the first night that we got there, and I think we were all checking in, so we were like waiting to get our credentials and stuff, and kind of looked up and saw the rocket go off. But the people that were already in the festival got to see it go off like during Robert Plant.
Oh,
you
that's
know, like
cool.
banging out some Zeppelin tunes.
On acid.
That would be pretty cool. Definitely
their acid
on
was
acid.
kicking in.
All right, so there they go. SpaceX headed to the International Space Station. Congratulations to them. We'll get into all the insanity that is happening in this Alex Murdaugh trial as they head to the finish line in just a second here. But an announcement for all of you. You can now go to the website and get your team pass for the Ultimate Pinewood Derby 4. Act quickly, friends. There are only, I think, 40 or so slots left, maybe a little bit more than that. You can get yours right now. Make sure you are careful and you select rules if you want rules, or no rules if you want that in the drop-down. There's a little drop-down right on the page. Be careful about selecting that.
Because if you think you're doing no rules and end up in rules, you are disqualified immediately.
We might just leave it there because it's annoying to fix it. But you can go over to realradio.fm/derby. That's where it is right now. realradio.fm/derby.
How do you spell derby?
You'll see the link there to get your team pass. Now this could be for up to 4 people. If you want to do it with just you, that's fine. If you want to do it with you and your family, you know, you got a couple of kids and you want to do it with the whole family, that would be a great thing, I think. It's a fun project because we're going to ship you this week the kit for the Pinewood Derby car, and you'll see all the directions and stuff, and you can take it out and you can cut it up and make it look cool and paint it, put flames on it, or whatever you want to do.
I think, who was it, Heisenberg years ago that just brought the block with wheels on?
Right. That would have been a real son of a bitch if that would have won the whole
That
thing,
was a
too.
classic. That was a classic Pinewood Derby execution, I thought.
Yeah.
And, it probably beat one car. I don't know.
I'm sure it beats somebody out there in the pack, but
And I think if you're a Cub Scout, or if listen up, if you're the parent of a Cub Scout, this might be really good research.
Sure.
For your child's actual Pinewood Derby. And when I say research, you can either take a look at the winning cars and what they all have in common, or the winning car, and see, you know, and maybe take some pictures of it, or just get the wallet out. Start offering some.
Buy the winning car.
Bad idea.
Buy the winning car.
That's genius.
And then erase all the penises off of it, because there will be some penises. and then now you have a car to present to your child to win the Cub Scout Pinewood Derby.
Right, so go to the website, realradio.fm/derby. Get your team passes now. Start to round up your folks. Come up with your team names. Be clever about those. A lot of people have funny names, and it's always a good time.
We've had such great team names, but we've done this like kind of stretched out over the years, and it's been a couple years since we've done it. Some of the team names will not make sense to people.
No, like Adamas Toledo pole dancers.
Yeah.
Probably not going to land anywhere with the audience.
No.
But
Yeah, she had a
jam, give us a design. I was like, make it look like the other ones. And that's what he came up with. I said, all right, cool. So go to realradio.fm/derby and get your team pass now. You could win a lot in cash prizes. There'll be a lot of other things out there for you to enjoy. You're going to get a big trophy for your team if you are the winning team on the rules side or the no rules side. Rumor is that we may be bringing back a track for no rules with the old looping, with the old loop-de-loop track, which was crazy as hell last time we did.
It was also a car killer.
It was that track, but the cars that made it around were like,
That track saw the end and destruction of many a car.
That's why I thought we should tell them ahead of time. Like, this is going to be a loop-de-loop track, so
Yeah,
think
bring your
about
tools.
that. Make sure you got a car that's going to be able to make it around. That people were bringing these big giant versions of the Pinewood cars, and it wasn't working out for them.
I need some helmets too.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into this event, and it's such a fun time. It's a family-friendly event. We're working on a new venue right now because we've had some issues in the last 24 hours.
What a fun day.
Yeah. We learned yesterday that we're going to have to find a new venue, but we got a great one on the line here, and if not, we've got some other places that we're going to do this that'll be fantastic, and it's going to all be local here in the area, so make sure you go get those now. realradio.fm/derby. This is for 4 people, up to 4 people, that you can have on your team. And start thinking about what you're going to do. We'll ship you out those kits so you can start sanding down your car or painting it or doing whatever you want, getting it as fast as you possibly can, testing it out before Saturday, March 25th in the Ultimate Pinewood Derby 4. So there you go. That's out there now. Get those team passes while you can. We're taking a quick break, and then we'll come back with the insanity happening in this Alex Murdaugh trial.
Eggs are involved.
Oh, there's some eggs involved. There's the jurors in this are so weird. I don't know if they selected weird jurors on purpose, but oh my God. There's a lot happening here as they're on day 2 of the closing arguments. And I'll tell you about the fresh drama in this case, and I'll give you what the judge said. I'll play that for you. It's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Reed & Reed Attorneys at Law want you to know that they are here for you. They treat their clients like they treat their family and friends. Probably better if you ask their relatives. Whatever you need, you can count on Reed & Reed to be there every step of the way. When you call them, you speak to your attorney. Visit needreed.com. Remember, with Reed & Reed, it's like having a lawyer in the family. Offices Tampa, non-attorney spokesperson.
Dispensing unsolicited advice on a wide range of pointless topics. It's the News Junkie.
At some point you gotta ask, is this all happening on purpose or what? How could that possibly be this weird? This Alex Murdaugh case, which is already weird, right? Like the background of the story is very strange, and there's a lot to it. It's hard to explain it to somebody. You're like, okay, so famous lawyer guy is accused of shooting and killing his wife and son, and that's just the beginning of this.
Of course, this is after his, mysterious death of one of his housekeepers.
Right.
Prior to that, his son was accused of a DUI on a boat after a girl died.
Yep, there was another murder there potentially, question mark. There's just so many twists and turns in this case, and it's transfixed a lot of people, millions watching the live streams out of the courtroom as all this goes down. And I took the time last night to listen to the closing arguments of the prosecutor, and I thought they did
quick trial, huh?
No. This has been going on for 3 weeks or something. I don't know. That's not too long for one of these, I guess, but it's been going on for at least a little while. But this is the closing arguments that they're making, and the prosecution did a pretty good job kind of laying out the case. Here's when he lied. Here's when he lied. Here's when he lied. Here's what he did. And in fact, they said he became a family annihilator. That's what they had called him in the courtroom. And
I think that's what they call the people who murder suicide the whole family.
Right.
Usually.
Yeah, this guy is a bad dude. There's clearly a lot of stuff. He's admitted to a lot of stuff. Not the murders, but he's admitted to a lot of other very bad stuff in the courtroom.
And someone like that, I feel like profilers would often be confused that he can produce so many tears, because usually there's not a lot of emotion involved in having, murderous tendencies.
I don't believe anything this guy says.
No,
Alex
I don't know where
Murdaugh,
the tears come from.
Yeah, I don't believe anything he says. He seems very, very, he lacks credibility to me. And then when you see him in the courtroom, he keeps getting mad and he's upset. He's going through all these different faces that he wants to show for the camera. And not great at his courtroom presence, I'd say, for a guy who's supposed to be fantastic at that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, on the other hand, you got Kodak Black. You seen him in the courtroom for his case? Kodak Black, the rector?
I didn't see what he looked like.
You got to see some of this. First of all, he's dressed to the nines. Kodak Black has like crazy colored suits on and stuff.
Sponsored by Gucci or something?
It looks like it. I mean, he's got like these explosive suits on that look real cool. And he like asked the judge a question in the middle of proceedings yesterday. And Kodak Black goes, Your Honor. And the judge's like, what? He goes, can I get another watermelon Jolly Rancher, please? And the judge is like, sure. And he comes up in his suit. And he's like a little kid.
The judge had them?
The judge had a little thing with watermelon Jolly Ranchers on her desk. And he's like, can I get one? And then he walked away like a little kid in school or something.
If I expected any judge to have a jar of Jolly Ranchers on their desk, it'd be that really nice judge that forgives all the traffic tickets because the single mother has a sob story.
Right.
And he's like, I'm going to help you get your car. And this and this and that. And like, I would expect that judge to have it. But just randomly, the Kodak Black judge.
And I like he asked in the middle of all this stuff. Can I please get another watermelon Jolly Rancher? And she goes, yep, and he goes up and gets one. Alex Murdaugh is just waiting. He's waiting to see what happens next, and everybody else is too, because the jury is full of weirdos. This is just the truth. There was one juror that throughout the hearings and all the testimony and stuff kept shoving tissue paper in their ears, and like you look at the juror and there's like tissue paper coming out their ears.
Okay.
And you go, what's happening here? What are you doing? And there's just a bunch of weirdos on the jury.
Did they explain?
They didn't, but I'm starting to think, I'm like, I wonder if during what's it called, vaudoir or boudoir, what's it called when they select the
voir
dire during
You're
that,
starting to talk about like boudoir, like
the photos,
Yeah.
like sexy photos. No, this is jury selection. I'm getting at. And I feel like they just chose people that they thought might be
off,
yeah, a little bit off. And they had to boot a juror today, and the juror's in trouble, was removed from the case for speaking about the details of the case.
God, rule number one.
Yeah, it's like the biggest thing. Don't talk to anybody else about the case. And they talked to several people about the case this juror did, and they have booted the juror off of the jury. And I think they might get in trouble now. But here's the judge talking about this today.
We've had some discussions with you over the past couple of days concerning indications of conversations with a few folks not on the jury concerning the case, expressing some opinion about the case. I have reviewed everything, including statements given.
Okay, that's fine to do. This is such a pain in the ass for them too.
Despite my order to not discuss the case with anyone, that intentionally or unintentionally, you've had some discussions with some folks not on the jury. And,
which I don't even think you're supposed to discuss it with other members of the jury.
No, I don't think so.
Until it's deliberation time.
I think you're only supposed to be focused on this when you're in the courtroom, and then when you leave, like old school, what they would do when they would isolate jurors and they would keep them away from the public during trials, they would give them the newspaper each day and cut out all the stories that referenced the trial that they were covering.
Imagine that being your job. You gotta cut all the stories out of the
Wake
newspaper.
up and start chopping things out of the newspaper so you don't spoil anything or get any information introduced to the jurors that they shouldn't have. And this juror was talking to a bunch of people, which is what you're not supposed to do. And now they have the alternate juror comes in, obviously, and I think they have one or two more alternate jurors And if they keep losing people, then the whole thing's going to be screwed.
The alternate juror was already there.
The whole time, right?
Yeah, you
don't even know that you're an alternate.
Typically, no. Typically, it goes to, all right, the trial is over, and it's time for the jury to deliberate. And guess what? Stand up, juror number 258. And 258 stands up and they go home.
Yeah,
you
see you
are
later.
You are dismissed.
Your services are no longer
You are the
needed.
alternate. You sat through this entire boring-ass trial. It might be for longer trials like that. Like, they might have the alternates come in or stick around for a while in case there's any misconduct during deliberation.
Because that would be
that requires them to get rid of somebody. Because now, if you get rid of somebody, what are you going to call the other guy to come back in? Now we got to wait for 258 to take a taxi cab back to the courthouse.
If I was an alternate juror and they dismissed me, I would on the way out be like, guilty! Shout out something. So at least they knew how I felt about the case. But they've got a mess going on, and they're trying to sort all this drama out. And now you go, are they going to end up with a hung jury? Are these weirdos who are amongst the jurists? I'm sure there's some normal people too, but there's some strange ones here. Are they going to find this guy not guilty for some other weird reasons? What the hell is happening here? So that's all playing out right now. We're going to keep our eye on that. If there's any other developments during the show, we'll let you know what's happening in this Alex Murdaugh trial. It's a big one. There's documentaries on multiple platforms focusing on this.
Tammy on YouTube says that she was an alternate in her last trial service, and she did know. So maybe they probably do it differently depending on the kind of trial, or maybe just depending on the courthouse and how they
what state it's in, what county. Yeah, there's probably different rules.
But the one that I was on, they told the guy at the very end.
That sucks.
In fact, the only reason we were there that day was to deliberate. So he got dressed, went to the courthouse, sat there waiting, only to be told, no, you're no longer needed.
Yeah, in this case, the judge then told the juror, all right, get out of here. You're no longer involved in this case. And let me get some of the comments that were going down as this was happening, because there's a lot going on with this. They said, judge is now telling one of the Murdaugh alternates she is now part of the jury. No explanation given to the jury about where the dismissed juror went, and the defense is starting their closing arguments.
Wait. You were playing the clip just a second ago of him kind of chastising the juror for. Is there a clip of him actually dismissing her?
I don't know.
Asking her if she left anything behind?
There could be. There was a lot of stuff from this morning. They said the dismissed Murdaugh juror has requested her dozen eggs, her purse, and her bottle of water be retrieved from the jury room before she's released.
What do you mean? Dozen eggs?
I don't know. They're bizarre. This case seemed pretty obvious to me. But now,
so
who
as
knows?
they're deliberating, this woman's just downing raw eggs?
Maybe.
Or do they have, I was, I don't know if you had a kitchen in your jury room that we could cook for.
Oh, we had a Taco Bell. So.
You had a Taco Bell?
Excuse me.
That would add up with his life and all the things that have happened to C-Lane. So we'll see what you think about all this. Send us a dispatch. Go to thenewsjunkie.com. Hit record on your first dispatch right now. And I want to share this with you real quick. There was a segment on Fox and Friends, the Fox News morning show, where they were at this Metro Diner in Ponte Vedra, is that how you say it? Beach, Florida. And I guess this is like right around the corner from where Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, grew up. And Fox is sort of on the DeSantis train these days, and they're pushing in that direction. And they fill up this diner, which is a diner that Ron DeSantis has gone to a whole bunch of times, with all these voters for this thing where they go around. They like to do this thing where they have all these people are eating breakfast, and they shove a microphone in their face, like, who are you voting for? And very, very weird.
An egg gets spit up on there.
So the guy from Fox News, Brian, what's his name? I'll get it in a second here. But Brian Kilmeade is his name. He's going around and asking the people in this diner right where Ron DeSantis used to live, and he's trying to get somebody to say that they're going to vote for Ron DeSantis. And he ends up, he's like, everybody's saying Trump, 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 Trump. And he ends up he sees out of the corner of his eye a woman who has a Ron DeSantis shirt on, and he's like, here we go.
Finally.
He goes over to her, and, hold on, I'll play it for you. Here it is. Hang on.
First off, Metro Diner here, I got a question for you. Ready? Hi. 2024. Who's pumped up for the election?
Why is All-Star playing
I
in the
have no
background?
idea why they chose that.
Stay right. Who's your man? Who's your woman? My
Everybody says Trump so far.
Trump and Nikki Haley. Donald Trump and Nikki Haley.
Oh. Now he sees this woman and she's got a DeSantis shirt on. He's like, ah.
Producers are screaming in his ear.
Go to the
Fuck
lady.
DeSantis.
Go to the lady in the DeSantis shirt.
I see Governor DeSantis. What about President DeSantis?
I like it.
Who's your pick?
Even she says Trump in this thing. They were just trying to find somebody else. This is a real Trump-friendly diner that they're visiting here.
I mean, the guy
He's
should,
watching it and he's like, I went to McDonald's. I should have gone to the diner.
the guy shouldn't have been surprised when he went up to the old man with the Jesus and Trump hat.
Uh-huh.
And, oh, yeah.
Oh, really? That's who you're going to
Can't
vote
vote for Jesus, so I'm going to vote for Trump.
All right, let's go over to you. You're joining us on the show with your dispatches. And don't forget, the Pinewood Derby, the Ultimate Pinewood Derby 4, is going down Saturday, March 25th. And you can now get your team passes. This pass gets you into the game with up to 4 people, and you'll have a car that you can work on together. Come up with a team name, you go out there, you have a great time. There is prizes on the line, cash prizes. There's going to be a trophy for all the winners. It's a big, fun event. We got DJ Digital out there.
Oh, yeah.
So you can get your passes to get you into the action in front of everybody who's going to be gathered at this event. Go right now to realradio.fm/derby to get your team pass right now. Be very careful when you're selecting. Do you want to play by the rules, the official rules, or do you want to go no rules where it's the wild, wild west? Do that over at realradio.fm/derby. Here's the Drunken Mailman with some tips for you.
Hey, News Junkies. Happy Thursday through the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, stay left.
My son was in Cub Scouts for several years, and I had to build several of these derby cars. And let me just give you guys a couple of pro tips here.
Ooh.
It's not about aerodynamics. It's much more about the weight distribution in relation to the axes of the wheels. And also, a little graphite lubricant can certainly
is that
go
legal?
a long way.
I have some in my
Wiggle,
drawer.
wiggle.
The one year we did it, we had some people who were actually trying to cheat, I think, at one point in time. There was one team that was like, hey, they're doing this to the wheels or whatever. And it was like a big call out for one of the teams that was participating.
I think I remember being able to put graphite or some sort of lubricant on them.
You're allowed to do that?
Yeah.
We send you the rules. So the rules will state exactly
I
what
do
you can
remember that
and
year
can't do.
now. They were all fighting. It was grown adults that were
Yes.
all like, hey, this is not fair.
This is a fun event, and all these reasons and so many more are why you should be out there. Now, don't forget, if you just want to be a spectator, everybody can come out and do that. It's totally free. Just show up at the event, and you can watch all the action, but it's so much more fun to have a car in the race and be able to participate. Remember, these aren't these big giant cars like you sit in and ride in. It's a car a little bit bigger than your cell phone that you work on, and even somebody who's not good with tools and all that stuff can do it. And if you just want a pizza Peisenberg and take the block and put the wheels on, you can put some paint on that sucker and roll it down the track that way if you want to. Put some googly eyes on the front.
Write your name on Sharpie.
Yeah.
With Sharpie.
Yeah, you can just really phone it in. That's possible. Here's Swilly with the dispatch about the school and the bats that we were talking about.
Hey everybody, happy today.
Hey.
So I was listening to the podcast and hearing Sean wig out about the school closing down because they found a couple of bats. Oh, it's not an infestation. They only found 4 bats. Don't be a bunch of pussies. Let me tell you, bro, from personal experience, you don't F around with bats. You know, they're like cockroaches.
You're alive,
Every
though.
one you see, there's 20 that you don't. And it's not common, but they can carry rabies. You know, I had one bat in my apartment, and it sent me to the ER, and I had to get 8 shots, one after another.
Wow.
I still got sick as a dog. And that's one teeny tiny little baby bat versus
Is that the
an
rabies
otherwise
shot?
perfectly healthy, full-grown man. And I can only imagine what that would do to a kid. So the school absolutely did the right thing closing down. If you think they should have stayed open, you're done.
Okay,
I
I'll
encourage
take
you
it.
to look up the symptoms of rabies in human beings because it sounds like a genuinely terrible way to die.
Yeah, and rabies, when you do get it, is like 100% death sentence. You get a bad one. Yeah, it's not a fun time, but I think that's hated in an unfair way. Here's VW Shane with the dispatch. Let's see.
Good morning, everyone.
Hey.
I sent the
Good
email
afternoon.
yesterday regarding Spotify advertising for CarMax. I do have a premium account. That's why I was reaching out, because I thought it was weird I was getting an advertisement
Mhm.
for premium. But I see you guys got it fixed, because now the show is sponsored by Nervage.
Oh, no, it's not.
A little disappointed, by the way, yesterday y'all didn't ask the dog trainer guy if he can train the dogs to defend against alligators, or if maybe the dog would sense the alligator's negative energy and then protect the old ladies or something.
I don't know if that's it's too late to ask, unfortunately.
I'll text.
Let's do one more here. Here is We812.
Save that.
Hello.
Kind of cool with the launch as the countdown went 4, 3, 2, 1. Time became 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh,
it was
really?
12:34.
That's cool. That's interesting. All right, thank you for that. You can send your dispatch. Go to newsjunkie.com.
I'm glad I'm not the only nerd that noticed that too. I was like,
There are others.
You were playing the video. I'm like, look, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning.
There are dozens of us out there.
We have to stick together.
Hit record on your first dispatch at newsjunkie.com right now. When we come back, 20-somethings are fueling a renaissance, a resurgence. Something is coming back into popularity that has not been popular for a very long time. Sean How dare you? My popularity remains at an all-time high. But this is making a comeback. What is it? It's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Reed & Reed Attorneys at Law want you to know that they are here for you. They treat their clients like they treat their family and friends. Probably better if you ask their relatives. Whatever you need, you can count on Reed & Reed to be there every step of the way. When you call them, you speak to your attorney. Visit needreed.com. Remember, with Reed & Reed, it's like having a lawyer in the family. Office is Tampa, not attorney spokesperson.
We'd tell you to check out the app chat room, but those people are weird and mostly naked. This is the News Junkie.
Pet owners, listen up. This is crazy. This is a really, really cool thing that's happening. And I'll tell you about something that is making a huge comeback with 20-somethings in a moment. But I saw this and I was like, every once in a while you see something and go, that's a breakthrough right there. That's a really big, big thing that could benefit so many people. And I don't know what percentage of U.S. households have pets off the top of my head, but it's a big number. It's a lot of people that have a dog or a cat in their house. And I also don't know what percentage of those people go out and get their dog chipped. You know, when you take your dog and then they say, let's put your information. It's like a digital dog tag, basically.
I will say, I adopted Carl a little over a year ago, and it was a requirement.
Yeah, it's part of the process, which is good. I mean, it's a great thing. Because then when somebody finds a dog, they know, well, I take it to the place, and then they scan the dog.
Actually, he was double chipped.
And then they find Carl has 2 chips in him.
Chips in Carl.
He's like 2/3 chip right now.
But they go to scan him and like, we're not getting anything. But I'm like, but he's chipped, and so I bring him in for another chip. I feel like if he gets X-rayed, it's just chips everywhere.
Little Carl, though, if he wanders astray, somebody will find him and they'll go, okay, this is connected to Sabrina. Here's her address, and then they'll bring you up or whatever they need to do and connect you with the dog.
Did they also, Sabrina, required to get Carl neutered?
Yes, so he was neutered already.
Oh, he was
like,
neutered already. Okay.
Shortly afterwards.
I think
They
that's the process. You get them and they're fixed. And
Well, they just had the little empty sack there.
A lot of times, if you adopt a puppy and they're not old enough to be neutered yet, you have to agree to do it, and like there's a time frame, there's all kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, so this is cool what they've come up with here, and like many technological advances, it's starting in South Korea. If you go to South Korea, you go into some of these tech stores and like big warehouses that they have full of the latest technology. You'll see stuff that is way ahead of where we're at in the United States. And this is out of South Korea, but this is a worldwide thing. And they came up with this technology, and they call it PetNow Incorporated. That's the name of the company. And PetNow is an app that they're starting to release around the world. Right now, they've released it in the UK, in Germany, and a couple other spots. And they're going to bring this worldwide very soon, so you'll be able to do this at some point in time. And this app, because of the technology, our powerful phones that each of us just carry in our pocket like it's nothing, it has a way to, by the snout of your animal, every animal's nose is different, and by your animal's nose, your dog's nose, it can determine what exact animal that is, and you can connect your ownership to it. So,
Like their nose prints are like fingerprints?
it's not even just their nose prints. You just like take it and point it at your dog's face, and the dog's nose is in this frame that they have for you, and your dog is now identified in the system, and you put in your information, your address, your phone number, and all that stuff. So now if somebody finds
who made this app?
These are the South Koreans.
Hey, I thought we're chill with them.
Are they going to be collecting our data?
I don't know if they are, but the dog data is going to be in the system along with our data, the owners of these pets. It says the Pet Now app automatically scans the feature information on the faces of dogs and cats, the two most raised pet animals for identification. And then they identify to like 99.9% accuracy which dog it is. So if you found a lost pet in your neighborhood, you can scan the face of the pet once this becomes mainstream, and it'll go, oh, that's John Smith. And the name of the pet is Darby, and then here's their address, and here's their phone number, so you can connect with those folks. No more microchips, no more tags, no more collars on the pets are needed to determine what pet goes where.
I mean, good luck with that.
Still would prefer to have a collar.
You guys are not buying into this.
No.
Why? I think, well, yes, now I would want to have both of those. But if this went completely mainstream and everybody was doing this with their pets, it would be a better solution to the problem than the chip thing. Your dog doesn't have to get anything injected in it, and you just have to use an app. And who doesn't have a phone to be able to scan the animal's face and put it in the system?
What if you have a deformed animal? What if they had an issue and they don't have, great nose?
It was still unique enough.
They don't have a face.
They don't have a face.
No face dog.
It's just a dog with a body.
So, I think just it would be better to also have the collars for something tangible. Because what if the dog doesn't? It's hard to get my dog to pose for a picture.
Right.
Because I was trying to get him.
He's just coming up with excuses because he heard it was South Korea.
Are you anti-South Korean?
I'm not anti-South Korean. I'm just saying, sometimes
stay in
when
your
other countries have these apps,
By the way,
like the TikTok.
All right. By the way, when you said who's behind this app, and I said South Korea, and you said, oh, I thought you were going a different direction entirely. I thought you were going to
didn't say Vietnam.
Wow.
You thought I was.
Yeah, I thought you were going.
Come on.
I thought you were going to say
it's low-hanging fruit.
You were worried that they were going to collect the dogs.
No.
Oh my God.
Well, I didn't say it. That's what I thought he was going to do, and I was
You guys are sick.
I'm not the sick one. I'm not.
You are. You're the one making up those things.
I thought that Sealand was going in that direction, but he was upset about the data.
I'm just saying.
Your data's already out there.
They're collecting our data. China has the TikTok. Now the South Koreans, they have the dog app. I think Russia did one of those Facetune deals. It got everybody. Everybody.
Yeah, you said they're trying to collect our and I go, whoa, where's it going? This is a legit app. I think
that would be a horrible thing for me to say. I can't believe that you would put those particular words in my mouth.
Surprised.
You are a monster.
And let's be honest here. Out of the three of us, you're the one that would eat dog.
I would try with
I knew it. I mean, come on.
Well, if the dog died in a humane way, and somebody said, "Have you ever tried dog?" I would say, "I'll take a bite of it." I'm not going to go slaughter a dog with a dog. I'm just curious about what things taste like. I don't think that's what. Why did this get turned on me? I'm not the one who was suggesting that the South Koreans had a nefarious reason for building the dog identification. I think they're trying to do something great for humanity and make sure that we can reunite pets with their owners. Of course, they're probably going to charge you a bunch of money to do all of this. And
I'm honestly surprised that I don't know what the technology is. I don't think it's NFC. What chip is inside the dog chip?
I don't know.
Because, I mean,
Potato.
most of our phones can read a lot of those chips. Like the ones that are kind of embedded into some of your like train passes and some of those other cars.
Whatever's in a dog chip, it doesn't have a battery, right?
Right.
It's just a chip that you can read without any power if the cell phone or whatever, they have a different device than the cell phone, I think.
I mean, it's similar to your like credit card chip.
Have you seen, I forget what it's called, but it's like this little orange device, and essentially you can scan something, put in a code, and then create other fobs. So if you want to duplicate something to get into your building.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's like a hacker tool kind of thing, isn't it?
But you can buy it like on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I would love to change up the chip on Carl so that not only is he identified, but I could also get into my garage. Could I just wave and buy it?
If you had Carl
Wouldn't that be awesome?
as a garage door opener, it would be a cool flex. Like if you had a Cribs episode and you just did that nonchalantly and didn't even say anything about it, you're like, this is my front yard. This right here is my garage. Let me show you my car. You scan
Carl, open garage. Jumps on a trampoline.
And the garage opens up, and that would be a cool flex.
And then there's a Mazda 6.
Right, I have to say this because I did tease it. And it's coming back with 20-somethings, they say. I did not expect this, honestly. I thought this was sort of going to go the way the dodo bird and just be done with. But following a decades-long decline, there is something that is experiencing a new renaissance. And that is stick-shift vehicles with manual transmissions. They're coming back in popularity. I don't know exactly why that would be. I would never personally prefer a manual transmission to the ease of an automatic vehicle.
Unless I am some sort of street racer. I mean, that is the only thing that I've seen in popularity stick shift lives is within that community of people that have souped up cars.
Well, but a lot of the cars have like the paddles on the steering wheel, which is true. It's like kind of the same thing, right? Yeah, it's like where you just switch the gears of that paddle, and you don't have to have that.
I really like doing this stuff.
You know what I'm talking about. You flip it around a little bit.
I think the manual transmission is good for certain areas, depending on population density, because it's not great to do like be in like bumper to bumper traffic.
Could you imagine living in Miami and driving in Miami traffic in a manual transmission? No.
It's also terrifying sometimes if you're driving a lot of mountainous terrain, and like say you're at a stoplight and you're kind of on an incline.
You have to like hit the clutch and the gas at the right time, or you're stalling out.
I don't know why.
Rolling back into the person behind you.
They said it's making a comeback. A couple of years ago, it was down to 0.9% of all vehicle sales were manual transmission vehicles.
I mean, they can't be producing a whole lot of manual transmissions.
I don't even know what cars you can buy them on right now. But it went from 0.9 in 2021 to 1.2% of total sales in 2022. And right now it's 1.7, coming up on 2% of total vehicle sales, which is almost a doubling of the amount of young people who want these vehicles with a manual transmission.
Which is terrifying because this is the generation, and speaking as an elder millennial, I mean, not only are they texting and driving, they're TikToking and driving.
Right, with a manual transmission.
Things and driving.
That's my thing. I want to do less things while I drive until possibly during my lifetime I will enjoy a car that I don't have to touch at all.
Do you think it's like car culture and you watch Fast and Furious movies and you just go, it's cool?
Yeah, but they're in space now. Remember?
I think an automatic is just so superior in every way.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't used to be, but now they're so good.
Maybe the cost.
Yeah, maybe it could be cheaper. If you're someone who just bought a new vehicle with a manual transmission, let me know. Any Mass on Twitch says the last manual transmission car is the 2024 Toyota Versa. No other cars will be manual. So these must account for used car sales then, if that's the case. That's an interesting point. All right, let us know what you think. Go to thenewsjunkie.com and hit report on your first dispatch right now. When we come back, there is yet another story from an incident on an airplane that I need to share with you. Also, don't forget realradio.fm/derby. Get your team passes right now so you can participate and go for cash prizes and a trophy for the winning teams for the Ultimate Pinewood Derby 4. realradio.fm/derby. Get those now while you can. They won't last too long, I don't think. I see you buying them up already and getting on board. I'm excited for this event, so I hope you are too. All the details you need, realradio.fm/derby. I'll get to that plane story. I'll get to a Walmart where they found a dinosaur in Arkansas, and a whole bunch more. It's all in the way. It's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Reed and Reed Attorneys at Law want you to know that they are here for you. They treat their clients like they treat their family and friends. Probably better if you ask their relatives. Whatever you need, you can count on Reed and Reed to be there every step of the way. When you call them, you speak to your attorney. Visit needreed.com. Remember, with Reed and Reed, it's like having a lawyer in the family. Office is Tampa, not attorney spokesperson.
Occupying the space between high society and prison tattoos. This is the News Junkie.
I want to issue a challenge to all of you right now. Well, actually, a very particular group of you. And that is the folks who are going to be participating in the Ultimate Pinewood Derby 4. You're going to have a team, and you're going to choose the No Rules track. Over the years, C-Lane, we've had fun with this. People have been super creative with their cars. Some of them have been funny. Some of them have been insane with, like, rocket motors. I think somebody took the Pinewood Derby car and then, like, hooked it up to a remote control car somehow.
Yeah,
it was a giant.
I remember there being something like that, or some sort of remote accelerator.
Now that the ones that they did that were too big, they weren't successful on the year that we had the loop track.
Correct.
They couldn't get around. You have to think about that. That's why I'm telling you this year in advance that the track is going to be, I believe we're bringing back the loop track, which is so cool to watch, and it was built by and is run by our friend Kevin from Wood Concepts.
Yes.
And Kevin texted me last night. He's like, "We doing this?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, we're doing this." He said, "I'm thinking about bringing back the loop track," and I said, "Let's go for it," because that was fun.
I also like that the loop track just weeds out cars left.
It's a car killer.
Car killer.
But if you know ahead of time, you can plan for that there's going to be a loop in this track, and your car is going to have to be ready for that, and it'll make it over. If the car is too long, if the car is too tall, they were just getting creamed by this track. So get super duper creative. And what you need to do is step up your game this year. We got big cash prizes. We got a lot of other stuff that's going to go to people who are winners in this that I'll be telling you about over the next couple of weeks here for the Ultimate Pinewood Derby 4. But the funnest thing about this, the thing that brings the most fun to people who are out there as spectators, which is free for you, is when you get super creative with your cars. Now, that doesn't mean if you want to participate and you just want to be silly and you don't want to do too much work to your car, that's totally fine. But I love when you step outside of the box and come up with something that's going to blow people's minds.
Yes, it's like part good team name, car creativity. I mean, if you want to be the fastest, the No Rules track allows you a lot of freedom to make some
be
upgrades.
Creative. Yeah. And the thing that we do is, myself, Sabrina or C-Lane will be out there with microphones, and we sort of treat this like a NASCAR event. We'll talk to the teams. We'll meet the people behind the cars. We'll discuss what you think is going to happen and the races that are happening, and then we'll let them roll down the track and see who the winners are one by one as we work through all the competitors out there. No Rules is a fun time, but if you're one of these super competitive people, you might go, I want to play by the rules. I want to know exactly what I can and can't do to my car, my Pinewood Derby car. By the way, if you're buying your team ticket at realradio.fm/derby right now, you get the kit. We will send it to you this week. We're sending them out as fast as we possibly can, so you get more time to have your hands on this. You can go to YouTube and search for Pinewood Derby cars, and there's tons of information about how you can shape yours and make it go faster, and lots of cool things that you can do to make it more competitive.
Somebody asked, are we building these ourselves? And I thought that was a weird question.
Well, it's a really super easy kit. Like, you just have a block of wood, you have the wheels that you put on, and there you go.
Yeah, but I mean, I think this person is like probably a person who does not have access to a saw.
Sure.
Find somebody you know that has a saw. One of your neighbors has a saw.
We're not here to tell you also that, You can't go to a place to
sure find a ringer,
build it.
Yeah, find somebody who's going to hook you up.
We have
Go to one of those maker labs.
We have a beautiful, I think we have one in town here in Orlando, and also there's a great feature within the app or newsjunkie.com. There's a giant chat, and I think a lot of people that are probably great at woodworking.
Yeah, you'll find some people on the Discord. You'll find some people all over the place who are willing to assist you. Maybe that's what you do and bring them on your team, and then you're much more competitive. Ann Dewey on YouTube says, what part of the car has to cross the finish line? I mean, if I just blow up my car, part of it will cross the finish line. Your entire vehicle, your whole Pinewood Derby car has to make it down the track and across the finish line. And we're going to have all kinds of ways to make this as fair as possible. Any other questions you have, do let us know. That's fine.